now, right?
Worldwide time. Peaceful Sabbath. I'd like to be glad for one day. Like the Lord, doing this practice for 8 days, coming up and starting in the month of the Gregorian calendar, December, Hebrew calendar, Kislev. The feast of dedication coming up, y'all. With that, y'all, we're going to get our prayer on, y'all. We turn toward Holy Jerusalem. As it's mentioned in yes, sir, Daniel chapter 6, verse 10. Y'all, we hold our hands up high. Yes, sir. Men ought to uncover their heads. Women ought to cover their head when praying or prophesying within the assembly. Y'all got our direction and our order. Let's get that prayer on.
We're going to be reading from the book of Psalms, chapter 75. Unto thee, O Elohim, do we give thanks unto thee? Do we give thanks? For thy name is near, thy wondrous works declare. When I shall receive the congregation, I will judge upright. The earth and all inhabitants thereof are dissolved. I fur up the pillars of it. Selah. Selah. I said unto the fool, deal not foolish, and to the wicked, lift not up the horn. Lift not up your horn on high. Speak not of with a stiff neck. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But Elohim is the judge, and he put it down one, and set it up another. For in the hand of Yahuwah there is a cup, and the wine is red, and it is full of mixture, and he poured out of the same. But the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. But I will declare forever, I will sing praise unto Elohim of Yahuwah. All the horns of the wicked also will I cut off, but the horns of the righteous shall be exalted. Selah. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Selah!
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. We got a good lesson today, y'all. We need to go over some things, and we're going to lay them back off of the last two classes. The class Elijah did, as well as the previous one. And what we're talking about is order in the household. You know, once we get established in the household with order, y'all, then we can bring order wherever we go. You know, because you're bringing order with you. And what we're talking about is ignorant-free zones. But that has to be gotten before you get in the car. I'm talking about with all parties, so everybody understand what's happening, and it's not a shock to you if something goes out of order. So with that, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get this class going forward. And today it's called the Spiritual House Order. 101, simple, what we would consider rulership of the household. Got a lot of people out there fat mouthing talking about who needs to be in charge or rulership of the house. So we're going to give a lot of examples today, and we're going to get some understanding today. So we're going to start this class off with the Hebrew word of rule. If we can get that Google real quick. Not sure where that phone is. H4910. Y'all, we're going to have those brought up, and also help me 5828. And we're going to get those two together because this is what we're trying to get ourselves ready for, a church without spot or wrinkle. And when the body comes together, whatever the body brings has to be correct so that you don't bring spot or wrinkle to the body. So then the body is chosen by Messiah because it ain't sick. So y'all, that's what we want to bring forth today. We want to get some good understanding. So why they help me then? Yeah, help me then rule. So we'll get a little bit of understanding going, and y'all, we'll start off. You got it already? We do Hebrew, yeah. No, either one. Yeah, go ahead. Will. For y'all out there, look it up. H5828, or just do Hebrews H5828. Yeah. And y'all, we're going to get this lesson going forth. But what I need first, y'all, we're going to get right into the understanding of the order given out. And then we're going to give examples of when the house is out of order. We're going to give the examples of true helpmeet. We're going to give the examples of hard head, so to speak, within this. And then we're going to get right into some Numbers 30 to really deal with this situation. So y'all, let's get right into it. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. What you got right there? No, just do H, 5828. So go ahead, if you will, AZ, while we get caught up and get those definitions. Y'all, we're just a little bit out of sync. We got a couple of Hebrews out on injured reserve today. So y'all, we filling in the gaps as we go along. Yeah, that's it. Strong, pull that first one up. Boy, you need some more arms, don't you? About a foot more on that. H5828 for a helpmeet, and also rule or rulership, H4910. So we'll get both those definitions going so as we can move forward, because like I said, we don't want to get caught up into what's called word etymology and then word dictates law. No, the law always rules, and it's going to dictate because the Bible's going to give you a situation with that word and how it's used, and either punishment or blessing is coming behind it. So you clearly understand nobody can then dictate to you how a word should mean, because they may be defining it so they can continue on with their bad behavior. Or they don't want to adhere to it. No, miss me with that. Usually the Pharisees, that's what they always did, pointed out what they were doing. They just made you think you was doing it. Or you were wrong if you wasn't doing the wrongdoing. They had the mindset of, if loving you is wrong, I don't want to be right. And that could be the devil.
Yes, indeed. Big time.
So y'all, with that, we're going to go ahead and get it going. I hope y'all can hear me. How they looking out there? Can y'all hear me out there well? And the assembly out in the four corners of the earth. Can y'all hear me well? All right, let's get it. Go ahead, bro.
Reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 26.
What'd it say?
And God said, let us make man in our image.
And see, this is not just outer cup. Because y'all, we're talking about soul. We're talking about supernatural. No one has seen the Father. No one has seen Messiah in his glory. So how are you thinking that this is just talking about an outer cup, how a man looks today? You have no clue, y'all. This is talking about the soul. Let's make a man in our image, a soul man. Because that's what's going to be manifested.
And that's what's going to be judged.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, bro.
Again, for those that's tuning in, Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth.
Yes, sir.
So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them.
So this is the question here today about rulership, starting out the gate. He said he gave rulership. Did he give it to male and female or just to the male? Y'all see that, huh? Y'all sure y'all see that? So we're talking about the complete creation then. Did Eve not get these instructions?
She got the same instructions. She was to be a helpmeet in rulership.
So do we have any documentation or scripture where Adam set Eve down and trained her? Anybody seen that? So she got the understanding like the Father gave it to both of them. So both of them had laws, statutes, and judgment, because a man can't teach a woman how to handle her womanhood, so to speak.
That's right.
How is a man going to tell you, no, now see, when you're cramping like that in day number 2, you supposed to do, how you know?
That's, he's experienced it.
So y'all, we have to be careful when we're saying this. That's why he speaks of there's neither male nor female. Now, if the man was in charge and he was supposed to be doing this, then he would have been the only one got the punishment.
That's right.
What'd you say, sis? Yeah, it was given to both of them, but we have to understand there was still a head of household.
Right.
But it was more spiritual than physical. This is what we're getting to today, and we're going to get into this Numbers 30th chapter so y'all can understand this is a spiritual walk of a spiritual head of household. That was given truly to the man because the man didn't come from the woman.
Right.
The woman came from the man. So it started with a full-fledged, 100% human man. And a woman came from him, but it's still part of himself.
Right.
It's just a weaker part of himself.
That's all.
But its weaker part must remain strong to keep the 100% part strong.
Right.
Or it don't need it. What does it need with weaker? If it's super strong right here, it's just telling you this side is going to show a side that you have to be compassionate about. That's why it's always compared like that. You have to be this, or you just going to be a hardened individual man. And we got a lot of scriptures about hardened individual men.
Because the man at some point falls to a weak state.
Yeah.
And if the woman is not strong enough to edify in that area, then the whole house falls apart. So she has to have the same amount of strength. At times when he becomes weak, the weak one, she has to have enough strength to build him up, that house doesn't become fragile.
Yes, sir.
So when he was given the commandments, statutes, and judgments, she was made from him. So therefore, whatever was in him was part of her as well.
Yes, sir.
However, he was given it first. She was given it second because she came thereafter. However, she got the same exact commandments, statutes, and judgments. It's the same way with Zipporah. When Moses fell weak,
Yeah.
Zipporah was there to rectify his weakness.
Yes, sir.
And establish that household and that deliverance.
See, because it fills that gap, the weak part of your arm. It gets right in there and fill it in. So now you're strengthened again. If you don't understand what we're talking about here, then your head is strong about rulership already, and you thinking, these sound like these Negroes finna say it's a 50-50 relationship. No, that ain't what we saying. There's 50-50 requirements by both parts to make it one agreeable marriage, but then there's a hierarchy. There's the head of the man, who is Christ. The man is the head of who? Woman. So that tells you the maximum it could be for a woman is 49%, because he has to have at least 51 to be considered the head of the household. If you get 50-50, you what? Roommates. Yep. Everything is equal. And so we're not saying it started off at roommates, but what we're talking about is in the beginning, the man was in charge, and his vice president, or so to speak, his wife, a lot of times handled and took over those duties or something if he's doing something else. He can't do everything by himself. That's why I start breaking down, this is your responsibility, this one is yours. But we're going to get into the Genesis 3:16 and 17, because what's being argued is the punishment, repercussions. You supposed to obey me, woman. You hear me, anime? Don't make me pull off this boot.
I got one precept.
But the woman is telling the man the same thing that Genesis is saying. You need to turn that game off and go out into the field and bring something back here to eat for us and them children and yourself. So that's the argument. And that's the argument in Israel about ruling the household, and both of it is about Genesis 3:16 and 17. The punishments. You are arguing the punishment like it really means something. What you got over there, Theo?
When it comes to men and women, I always say that we're equal in purpose, not equal in ability.
Yes, sir.
Each person has a certain purpose to do. And what good that's what we made to do. What our purpose is, we made not command.
Yeah.
We provide structure, rigidness, what we're made to be flexible, they can move, they have sensitivity to the spirit that we don't have sometimes, and we make up for our slack to complement each other.
Yes, sir.
Very well put.
Aaron stern and rigid, and, you know what I'm saying, that's where you get the structure from. The devil, the spirit, my
Grace.
Right.
Yes, it's kind of like a feminine attribute.
Absolutely, bro.
You know what I'm saying? So you need the masculine and the feminine. You raise children, you need the masculine and the feminine principle, but they work together.
It's balance.
To balance, right?
Absolutely, bro.
Complete balance.
Very well said. Okay, let me get that. And y'all, and see, this is why we have to be careful of this, is because the God they serve is called Baphomet. And Baphomet is a male deity with women breasts. So this deity is actually be working. It's called the He-She God. The He-She God. So yeah, that. So that's what they're trying to bring forth right now, the worship of the He-She God. Do we know if it's male or female? Does it really matter? How we know, like in Boys in the Hood, how we know God ain't a she? You know, when those conversations come up, well, we got enough scriptures to understand this, that we don't have to get into those endless genealogies. But go ahead, bro. What's that example you got?
The Matthew chapter 19, verse, I want to start at 4, and we got 3 verses, 4 to 6. It say, and he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female?
Right.
And said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Wherefore, they are no more twain, but one flesh.
Yeah.
what therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder.
So right here, what he just read is just clear what we read in Genesis 1. It's just saying he created them male and female. So the creation, everybody plays his part. Nothing is weaker than your part. The problem we got today, y'all, is women is trying to tell a man how to be a man, and a man is trying to tell a woman how to be a woman. So the problem is, you got an argument about nobody know what they supposed to be doing, because they too busy telling the other one what your position is. But it's just defense mechanism all for the problem of Genesis 3:16. Y'all, this way before Mount Sinai that we're trying to correct. So go ahead and read that next verse, bruh.
Okay.
28.
Genesis chapter 1, for those just tuning in. Genesis chapter 1, verse 28.
Yeah.
Reading from the book of Genesis. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply.
Be what?
Be fruitful and multiply. And replenish the earth.
And do what?
Replenish the earth.
Right.
And subdue it. And have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in which is the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the earth.
You can hold up, bro. That's all we wanted to get to, is just commandments was given out, y'all. We see they're given out to both of them, both male and female. Y'all, that's why the punishments were separate, but it was for the same crime. Adam was not punished with Eve's crime, was he? Man ain't look, I hope he ain't hollering like they trying to do today, but you see what they trying to do today with these commercials with men with women products on for that time of the month.
Wickedness.
This is what they are promoting, y'all. This is the God that they are trying to bring forth. And if we ain't careful, y'all, we don't want to get into false rulership, because you are going to need each other in this hour.
How about that other one? I'm on the pill.
Oh boy, that's really crazy.
Wow.
I'm on the pill. I'm on the pill. Men talking about I'm on the pill. What?
Man.
Hey.
I thought it was a Saturday Night
Yeah, I'm
Live skit.
Or I thought they had got a hold of to a different kind of Viagra, but they ain't talking about that.
No.
They're talking about reproduction, preventing it, or for me having a certain kind of behavior, intercourse, that I'll be protected. Y'all know that's about I'm on the pill for HIV. So they're telling them, look, yeah, I got it, but I'm on the pill.
Since your risk is up, you should take this pill. That way you can keep doing that wicked thing.
So you can keep doing the wicked thing, y'all. That's what we're talking about here today. We got to get some understanding, y'all. So we ain't gonna belabor because we way behind the 8 ball, y'all. We about an hour and a half off. So I'm gonna speed this thing up, and I ain't gonna be talking long today. Psalm 127. We're going right there, y'all. Hold on, you got those ready yet?
Yeah.
Let's get those 2 words, and we got the other one right here. What you got there, Elias? You got help me.
I got this is
Here, I got rules, so
Marshall.
just get help me.
Mashal.
No, that's
No, I got help me too.
yeah.
I got it too.
Well, helper. It may have just helper. So go ahead and get that.
Helper.
Yeah. Thank you, Yeshua.
No, this must be rule.
Yeah, go ahead, do rule then. Yeah.
Okay, says, translation count, let me see this. This help me. Help me. Ready for usage. Succor, one who helps. Masculine, noun.
No, ain't what we're looking for, bro. Well, while you looking for that, I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get rule. Now, H 49:10. You got a license? You good?
They just give me.
And his rule is mashal, the primitive root, to have or to make dominion over, to govern, to reign, to bear, to cause, to have rule, to have power. So, and this is what we're talking about, is the power in the household and the rulership of the household. What makes its power? If it's just the man that makes its power, then there's no need for a helpmeet or a woman. There's no need for it. If you only can need the man, now what we want to see, man, is you help reproduce your own self. We want to see that trick. That you produce your own self. So it's just like we heard the songs all the time. It's a man's world, but it ain't nothing without a what?
Woman's touch.
So y'all, it ain't hard. You're not going to produce a baby from another man. It just ain't happening. So we want to get that understanding, but let me get that Psalm 127. What's that? What you looking for that? Me? Help me?
No, it's Ezra, and then it says succor, help, succor, one who helps.
One who helps, or succor, basically, and we know what succor is. It means to comfort. To help out and to comfort. If you got some trouble going on, you need some comfort. Whatever the situation may be, you need comfort with that.
To build you back up.
If you go to work and there's drama at work, you can't have that same drama when you come home. You got to have what when you get home? Comfort. And to be secure. Shoulders rub. It was rough today, wasn't it? Yeah, almost. We was going to be 2 weeks from homeless because I almost punched that supervisor's teeth out before I went to lunch. Do you know he had the nerve to tell me? So we don't want to get to them points. We want a helper at home to secure us. And if you're not married, then the Messiah will be your helper, your secure.
He'll be your peace and comfort. That's why he says, I will send back the comfort, to comfort you in your time of need. When he left, he said, you cannot come with me, but I'm going to send the comfort
That's right.
back up to secure you. During your labor, you're going to need that comfort. You're going to need that moment of peace.
The Holy Ruach. Holy Spirit for
Like when
those.
you go home to your rib and you had a rough day and she run you bath water and fix you a plate and everything and tell you, okay, baby, it's going to be all right. We're going to make it through this.
Right.
You need that comfort. You need that reassurance that everything is all right. Because without that, you go home under that mindset, you might click out.
And see, the main thing he's saying is the man is coming home from somewhere. He ain't already at home. He ain't sitting like this in a lazy boy all day when she get home. Yeah, it's been a rough one today. Niggas out there in YouTube land had me upset today, woman, while you was gone to work all day.
And I couldn't find a doggone remote.
I need some shoulders rubbed here, woman, because I'm about to take on this other Negro in Chicago talking about he the Messiah. You think you need some succoring for that? No, let's get that Psalm 127. And we got to see how this house is going to be built, y'all, because the house must be built correctly.
Deborah had something.
What you got, Sister Boy? You got something?
No, I just wanted to piggyback on what you said. When I talked to him,
Yeah.
we do set the tone for the husband.
Yeah.
If he comes in and he's all rattled and everything, we can't rattle back down.
Right.
Smooth that spirit out of him.
Right.
It out. Yeah, but nowadays you got that
Yeah. Yeah.
clap back.
Yeah. You know what she clapping back about?
33 years.
You said that what you would do to me, you should have went on and did it to the supervisor, Mr. Tough Man. You call shots around here, wanna knock me down. The other day when the man said, what's she doing with 2 black eyes? You said she fell down the steps on both eyes? Well, did you tell her? I done told her twice. Can't you tell? No, see, we don't want that. Psalm 127.
We're in the book of Psalms, chapter 127. A song of degrees for Solomon. Except the Lord build the house.
Except who built it?
Except the Lord build the house.
So y'all, we got to get this understanding first. Your foundation has to be the Most High. Except He built it. Let's read some more.
They labor in vain that build it.
You labor in vain that build it. Man, how you gonna have rulership and you and your foundation ain't in Messiah? You're not gonna have the peace you're looking for, except the Most High build it. Because he tell you you're gonna have some problems, but this is the way to smooth it out. Let's read some more.
Except the Lord keep the city. The watchman waketh, but in vain. It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrow.
To do what? Now look, this you getting up with everybody else early in the morning. And you lay down after everybody gone to sleep. And you just eating bread of sorrows. And that's what it becomes, because you get up with them that's going to work, and you up late with the ones who done been to work, but you ain't got nowhere else to go. So it just continues you eating bread of sorrow, because you're rising and laying down, y'all, is at a different level, y'all. I know it seems like he's saying you just working in vain, but you're not. When you rise up early, this is talking about the in vain to rise up early. Go ahead, read a little bit more of this.
I'm going to start it too again.
Okay.
It is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows. For so he giveth his beloved sleep.
See, so he giveth his beloved sleep, because you're going to sleep a good sleep if you're following the rules. But if it's been a long, idle day, trouble on your mind, and you notice these people are always up late. If you can't get into trouble if trouble don't get into you. See, so a lot of times we find an idle mind to get into. What you got, Elijah?
It's Sirach chapter 30, verse 21 through 25. It says, give not over thy mind to heaviness, and afflict not thyself in thine own counsel. The gladness of the heart is the life of man, and the joyfulness of a man prolongeth his days. Love thine own soul and comfort thy heart. Remove sorrow from thee,
right?
For sorrow hath killed many.
What sorrow has done?
Killed many.
See, this is what we're talking about. The bread of sorrow kills you. Go ahead, read some more, Elijah.
And there is no profit therein. Envy and wrath shorten the life, and carefulness bringeth age before the time. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
So that's why we have to meditate on the Lord, so we get good sleep.
30, verse 21 through 25.
So we get good sleep. If you don't meditate on the Lord, if you got chaos before you go to bed, guess what you're going to dream about? Killing somebody. You're going to fix it in your dreams, and what happens is it's going to manifest itself, because your flesh is recalling what your soul was dreaming about last night. Arguments, you don't think that I'm going to fix the problem. When you argue, you think, ooh, boy, when she go to sleep, I'm going to close her nostrils like this. And then I'm going to act like I'm asleep. And when she be choking, I'm like, you need to get that PAP machine. That's what's going on with you. What's that machine help you breathe? CPAP. You need a CPAP, woman. I don't know why you fighting it. Hey, look, if the sleep ain't sweet. Let's get caught up, y'all. I want to get into this Numbers 30. Finish that out. I ain't going to interrupt you no more, bro. That's Psalm 127. What happened? No. Look, this just some things. I be hearing these things, man. People text me. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, we continue in Psalms chapter 127, verse 3. Lo, children are the heritage of the Lord.
Yes, sir.
And the fruit of the womb is his reward.
Is his what?
Reward.
See, so the fruit of the womb is reward. See how this getting right back to the commandments we started with in the beginning? Let's read some more.
Verse 4. As arrows are in the hand of a mighty man, so are children of the youth. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed, but they shall speak with the enemies in the gate.
So we have to understand this situation here. It says, yes, if a man's able to produce a lot of children, but in Judges 8, we had Gideon who had 70 sons. And a son, one of the 69, I should say, by wives, the 70th son was by his outside woman. And his outside son killed all of them 69 sons, and then he was killed. So that's no inheritance to give. It's nothing, it's cut off. Even though you may try to use it as a multiple wife situation, but the problem, 70 sons is dead. Ain't no inheritance, ain't no posterity. This is void to them now. 127. Though your quiver was full, it's empty now, and ain't nothing but a bunch of obituaries of 70 sons.
Sorrow.
Killed by their own brother from the outside one. Get into some Judges 8, y'all, and look at it other than just a romp in the hay. You finished that, bro?
Yeah.
Let's get right to it, y'all. 1 Corinthians 11. Y'all, we're going to move through this quickly because I need to get into this Numbers 30th chapter. But then when I get into Numbers, I'm going to be pointing to a certain situation throughout the scripture because, y'all, what this is a vow taking. No matter what kind of agreement you make, you sign contract, that's a vow you're saying, I am going to keep. If you're not sure about that vow you're going to keep, at least be letting it know, put it in a small print or something. But y'all, this is what we're talking about is our vow to the Most High and what we promise that we will do to keep his good grace on us and his mercy to show upon us. So 1 Corinthians 11 chapter, y'all, we're going to get right into it and then we're going to get some understanding. Verse 1. Yes, sir.
1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1.
How we looking, y'all?
Everybody there? Don't wait on your breath. You ready? 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1.
What it say?
Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you.
So Paul started out the gate, I listened to my head. So y'all be like me. Because that's what I did, and I've been listening to him since the road to Damascus. I wasn't listening to him at first. He had to chastise me. But now I listen to him, and I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't listen to him, you're going to get the same thing I got on the road to Damascus. But I listen now because he showed me mercy. He could have took me out. Because I slayed Stephen. I had him killed. Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
What it say?
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ.
Of how many men?
Every man is Christ.
So the head of you is not some general or some captain or some chief high priest unless it's Messiah. You calling anybody else that, shame on you. You can't talk about not calling nobody a grand master because he in the Mason, but yet you call this nigga grand master high priest. Because he Israel. That Mason an Israelite, ain't he?
Yep.
You don't hang out with no white Masons, do you? No, because they ain't going to have you around.
Ain't gonna allow it.
Let's read some more.
That's why they all belong to Prince Hall.
That's right.
But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is Yahweh.
Who is the head of Christ?
Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
So that's why men uncover their head from that perspective when we're praying or prophesying to Messiah. You always see uncovering. You have to understand that. And or if we look at it higher on the spiritual level, you know, if you don't have a correct covering when you go out, this is just talking about when you can take it off. Because you're protected at this point. Look, when you come out of the elements, what's the first thing you do with something on your head? Take it off. Because you're protected at this point. I'm on the inside of somewhere. Let's read some more. We're going to get some good understanding today.
Verse 4. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head.
Right.
But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head covered, uncovered, dishonoreth her head. For that is even all one as if she were shaven.
So it's basically saying a woman that prophesied with her head uncovered, you got to have some covering. If you're single, Christ has to be your covering. If you married, your husband has to be your covering. You cannot be his covering. Let's understand this correctly. You are a helpmeet. You are not the head of household unless you are the head of household. And that's not hard to understand. That's why what our welfare system in Jerusalem was set up for the fatherless and who?
Widows.
And widows. Woman without a covering, a father or a husband, and children without a father. That's what it was set up for, because that would be common, because we had war in Israel. So a lot of men was lost to war. Men worked hard in the field. We had wild beasts out there. Sometimes you got killed. Car accidents, chariot accidents. Ailments that a man made, and a widow was left with no covering. If her father dead, what does she do? See, right now, you run them on the street corner. Let's read some more.
Verse 6. For if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn.
Right.
But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered.
Because see, the Most High said the only way a woman is shorn or covered, there was a process for it. Because we can say, see, you got to be careful that you understand this all the way around, because does this mean a woman can't wear a low haircut? Better not wear it. It means it in the sense when they under the law and understand this. But what happens if they going through some form of cancer and they cut their hair off? Or if we get into, he take a wife, according to the law from another nation. This law, if he does that, what is she supposed to do? The first thing she's supposed to do? Do what?
Shave her head.
So this don't apply to that rule or process, because it's a different situation. This is cutting ties with her past on that one. You're cutting ties with your past. And then you're coming into this new fold, then it could grow back out. But if they're already in the covenant, it said it's best if you know the rules. It's best if she's going to be the head of the household. Cut her hair off so she look like a man. If that's so shameful, if that's what she want to do, let her walk around like that, so at least we know who in charge around here. See, it ain't no coincidence that almost every female mega preacher wears the bob haircut or the low manly haircut. What's her name? Joyce Myers. Yeah, you say you don't know none of them, Elijah. But majority of them have a man-styled haircut. They want to look in authority. And we were talking about the weaker vessel early. If you know a woman that can bust through a linebacker or a defensive tackle like Earl Campbell, it's a problem. Because they done gained some strength that ain't been recorded in history. If she busts through there and y'all turn jerseys off of her trying to tackle her, we in a whole nother generation. And Earlene Campbell rushed for 500 yards again today.
Earlene.
Carrying defensive linemen on her back.
One more greasy.
Earlene.
One of them big greasy.
What we had, bro? Go ahead, let's read, because I got to get in this Numbers 30, y'all. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yahweh, but the woman is the glory of the man.
But the woman is the what?
Glory of the man.
To understand this, when you're the glory of something, that means that you're representing the Most High. The world look at you and say, you're a disciple of the Messiah. I see his glory on you. And it has to be the like thing for the man's woman. They have to look at her and say,
She is
you that Israelite man's woman. I see his glory on you. But if her glory, if you see this, and her lips are turned up, Like she been sucking on a lemon? That ain't no glory.
Sour patch.
And we're going to get into some 1 King to let you see that behavior with Jezebel and Ahab.
That's the Jezebel
and you're going
spirit.
to see this, and you're going to see some behavior of when the rulership switch, because it's going to tie into this 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. Let's read a little bit more, Elisha.
Verse 8. For the man is not of the woman.
For the man is not what?
Of the woman.
So we know who came first. It said the man did not start off. It did not start off. He made Eve and then Adam. Let's read some more.
But the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angel.
Now, why does this keep popping up all the way from Genesis, the 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter? Because of the angels. Genesis 6th chapter, you know, we get into it because of the angels.
The watchers.
So we got a situation that this cause and result way up in here in Corinthians that was 6,000 to 12,000 years ago. We're talking about that right here, about a situation that happened then. So we're talking supernaturally first, y'all, because that was a supernatural attack. You had supernatural beings having intercourse with carnal or natural women, earthly women. Y'all, that created an issue, and this is why hair is so important for women, and it keeps talking about your hair, because when we get right back in this Corinthians, you're going to see why. Keep reading. Let's read some more.
Nevertheless, verse 11. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman.
See now see how it gets back to it and say, man, you can't do nothing without a woman. You gonna get tired of paying yourself with that hand employment. And you're going to go to something else, probably a beast. See, that prevented Adam because he was looking. A lot of fruitful and multiplying.
Going on.
Lord said, no, you can't look at them like that. I'll fix something for you. Yeah. But it has to come from as pure as you are. So as pure as the man is, his woman shall be, or should be. Let's read some more. Where's that?
In his image.
Yeah.
Verse 12. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman.
So now the women bear men child. So now you come from the woman after this perspective, but let's keep it understood where the Messiah goes back to the beginning. Not in the middle, not in the second point, not in the third point, because the man after this point, now he has a stain on his outer flesh because of conditions of Genesis 3:16 and 17. There's a punishment for this flesh now. It's corruptible now. So that second man, now after this, that comes from a woman now, there's a problem with it. Because the woman has a tainted curse following or trailing her till she reaches a certain age. It's trailing, dealing with children. That was never so in the beginning, even though Adam came from what's called mother what? Earth. But that earth was washed clean, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. That earth was saved earth and refreshed. The Most High created, he said he formed, he said everything was what? Good. Wasn't no bad earth. Everything we talking about Eve came after disobedience. So we need to understand what David was talking about in Psalm 51 when he said, I was shapen in iniquity. The way I was born was because of disobedience way back in Genesis. But he didn't blame that on no woman. He wasn't there. He didn't. See, some would take that as far and say, well, you don't know how your mom and daddy conceive you. Well, you don't. But that ain't what he's talking about. He's going back to the beginning, not to the drive-in.
But you got these Hebrews that tell it, oh, Joseph's the father.
Yeah, same way. Let's read some more.
Verse 13.
What it say?
That 12 again. As the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of Yahweh. Judging yourselves, is it comely that a woman pray unto Yahweh uncovered?
See, so it asks you about these things because when we get into Numbers 30, this is why he's asking all these questions. If you never understand, I always talk about Numbers 30, but we just don't sit down and take our time to go into it. And this is what it asks. Is it comely that she prays uncovered, with not knowing who the Most High is if she don't have a husband, and praying and has a husband, but praying uncovered, so to speak. She act like he don't exist, or she's ruling with authority over it, like Aunt Esther does Woodrow. Got the Bible, come in with her 3 girls. Woodrow standing over there, whatever he does, she fronts him off in front of her gang. Woodrow, put that bottle down before I unscrew your arm and beat your brains out. Now, who gonna say that in public?
They call him an old heathen.
Well, yeah, what if you at Applebee's and I'll have a bird, you reach for it. Put that bird down. And everybody stop. The TVs get turned down before I screw your arm out and beat your brains out. I'll have water. That's going to be a problem publicly, ain't it?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about today, y'all. Let's read some more. What's up, bro? Where you at?
Serious.
Verse 14. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is a shame unto him?
So everybody started to talk now, man ain't supposed to have long hair. Well, you got 2 arguments. Now you got some saying man shouldn't cut his hair off. Don't mar the corner. Don't understand that spirit. Now I ain't supposed to have long hair. Well, when we get into 2 Samuel 14 chapter, Absalom, when he cut his hair off once a year, weighed this many shekels. I'm talking about, you have so much hair, they weigh your hair. You talking about Dr. J, Absalom's throat was like this. And when you read about Absalom, when it talks about it, say he didn't have one blemish in him from the sole of his foot to the top of his head. No blemishes, but guess what? That was his outer cup. Because his soul had a blemish because he went into his father's wife.
Wickedness.
And that made him a mother for unlawful carnal knowledge. That's right, they was hollering at him, pretty boy.
He was
Pretty boy.
beauty.
No.
Just like Satan.
Vain. Vanity. Vanity.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's read some more.
Verse 16. Verse 15.
Yeah.
But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her.
It is a what?
Glory to her.
See, so this is why we want to understand, though, even though it's a problem with the angels, it's still a glory for her. Do you think these nail shops and hair shops are set up in our hood because these Chinese don't know about us? What do you think? What else you think? What's on every other corner that supply women with what? Hair and what? Nails. Because they understand what's your glory. We out of order. We don't know what our order is. Women think their order is to rule over her man. That's because it got flipped. And we're going to get there, y'all. I ain't going to belabor this. But I want to get back in 13 when it said, judge yourself. Is it comely? No, 12. 14, that's
14.
Does even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair? So this is the question. What in nature teaches you that if a man have long hair is uncomely to him? Is it because Absalom got caught in a briar bush?
No.
Is that the reason why you shouldn't have long hair? Is it because Samson got his cut off and got his eyes put out?
No.
Or is it trying to compare nature itself? You have to keep looking at nature.
That's right.
And what this talks about is a reversal of roles. If a woman becomes his glory. When Messiah, you understand what I'm saying? If a woman now, if he switches role with her, that's what I'm saying, then that only leaves her to be his glory. Because the roles are switched. If y'all understand what I'm saying, let me get back to nature so y'all understand it. What do they compare the only thing that a woman, nature, deals with the man, rules over him, then she do what? What is most women called that kill their husband? A black what?
Black widow.
A black widow spider. You know what else in nature teaches that? The praying mantis. When she get through mating with the husband, she bites his head off. Off with his head. She bites his head off. And in nature, which one has the long hair, the lion or the lioness? So nature couldn't be talking about that, because then that would be out of order, wouldn't it? So it's not talking about physical hair in this aspect. It's talking about the rulership has switched. The roles have switched. He's doing her bidding and she's doing his. That's why I say, is it uncomely for her to be like the man? Then you might as well cut her hair off like that, or man, just grow your hair, put some rollers in it.
Yeah, because that's where it goes backwards again. Because now you got men wearing their hair like women. They doing women hairstyles.
And
like
guess what they
Snoop
gonna
Dogg.
get? You gonna get them angels ain't gonna be able to tell the difference.
And you might have men that won't be able to tell the difference.
Look, and when you wake up and it's painful,
back.
an incubus will attack you, man. If you acting like a woman. Y'all, a lot of this stuff supernatural. It's not you born that way. It's up here.
Mentally.
Because if you're not girded in your sleep, your sleep is going to be sorrowful if you're not girded. You have to fight off a sodomite demon that may be coming towards you in your sleep.
Spiritual wickedness in high places.
You can't take your strap, and you know you didn't go to bed with your boxer shorts on with the slit in the back.
Demon to turn you out.
Yeah.
Because you want your hair to look like a woman. That's why pimps do what they do. They have to be prettier than they woman. You know why? Because they're not concerned with what's with their woman. All they need is her to make money. That's why they put on a roof and show her everything. They don't show her a trip to the Bahamas or over here to this place or back to the Holy Land. They show her alleys. Come here, baby. You see that alley right there in Kobe Bryant and Martin Luther King? All of that is yours behind that dumpster. And look, if you do right, I'm going to take you to Vegas and your mattress. What you think about that, baby?
Vegas in.
How you like pretty daddy? Now, I'm
Certainly.
nice and pretty daddy. That's why they always looking like a woman.
It's confusion.
Where we at?
Oh, man.
Confusion.
Verse
15.
15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her.
It's a glory to who?
Her.
Not the man. Go ahead.
For her hair is given her for a cover.
So she has a natural covering, y'all. It ain't never said nothing. It just said women don't be fixing your hair up to attract or lure men in, because you may lure in a supernatural demon that'll come and manifest itself to you about what you fix your hair up for. It don't never say women don't get your hair fixed. There's too many other scriptures that say just the opposite. It say if you're fixing it up for seduction, be careful.
Genesis 6.
Because you may get what you ask for.
Genesis 6.
Where we at? Read that last verse, 16.
Verse 16. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of Yahweh.
So we're not going to argue with you about that in the assembly, y'all. It's just an assembly thing that where we understand it keeps us uniform and in order. If somebody down here would, no, I don't agree to turn in that way, well, you got to step out there. See, we can't have you up in here and we all in one spirit, but you sitting here looking at the table like this while we turn that way. What you come in here to learn? We're quoting the scriptures while we're facing this way. Or you come here for some distraction. Well, your distractions won't start to class time. Step out there. And then when you come back in, we're going to get some rules and regulations of the house. Because ain't nobody bigger than the house rules. Can't nobody come in nobody's house and jump on your mama's and daddy's bed. Who let company come in and jump on your parents' bed? They come home and it's all roughed up, the pillow on the floor, and they say, who been jumping in my bed? It's a different from somebody doing something else in that bed. Because she said it smelled like pork and rice in there. But she just talking about it looked like footprints. It looked like footprints. Y'all seen that don't drink your juice in the hood when she was walking up the steps? Right, well, you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to keep it clean.
That's unclean. That's unclean.
So
as it can
y'all,
get.
but we ain't gonna argue with you. We just tell you this how we get down, bro. If you don't like it, just as freely as you came down here, you can freely step out there till we get through, and then we gonna go into detail. We gonna ask you why you won't agree with the scripture. You got something, the reason you ain't gonna look that way, but we ain't gonna get that started with the prayer and break the spirit that we got going. Because we need all our energy. And it's come from everybody being obedient, not half of us. So let's get some more on that. Well, oh, we done with that. Let's get right to Numbers 30, y'all. Who got questions? Go ahead, Imam. You do what now? Oh, like a man's mantle? Like that clothing or covering? Well, on the physical side, that's all, because it's the beauty, you know, it's the glory of a woman. It represents a woman. Look, if a woman got dirty dishes, it's going to be a problem no matter how. If she can have on Gucci, she can have on Gucci, she can have on all the silk stuff she wants. But if her dish is dirty, what I mean is back here,
No kitchen.
if it's cuckabuds back there, it's going to be a problem for a woman.
Oh, you remember back in school when girls came and they done up, and the first thing cats looking for is some naps.
Back
They see
there.
naps around the leg, just going in like,
Oh, wait a minute.
Your kitchen ain't right, man.
Look, this look like somebody flying over in a plane and 1,000 Africans doing like this. Back here.
Beady beads.
Beady beads.
your mama forgot to press that back.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So, y'all, go ahead.
Sometimes she burnt your neck.
That's why she
They got
pressed.
stabs all around the sides of their forehead.
Yo, we went too far. But, y'all, this is why her hair is a glory, because if she takes time to take care of that, then we know a lot of things, other things are taken care of. Because if she goes through that and then still have time to do that, because, y'all, that's tied to, that's what makes a lot of fruitful and multiplying. That cover got to come off, and when he look at your hair, if she unwrap her head and it look like the James Brown arrest photo, he probably gonna have an excuse. He probably gonna have an excuse why. Hey, he gonna have an excuse, y'all, ain't he? Why it ain't gonna take place tonight?
Danny Glover.
Yo, look, the only reason, what you got back there, LC? What you say, LC? The name of this class is Spiritual House Art. Let me show y'all something real quick. No, y'all, the only reason y'all laugh because it's the truth. Y'all know, look, you talk about them going to get their hair fixed, but you don't want to see that like that. You don't want to see it jacked up nowhere. And you be asking, you went out like this. Look, this is what I'm talking about. If they come home or they unwrap.
The woman's hair is her,
Glory.
it's a glory. It's her way of saying, I'm going to take some of my roles with feminine women. Right?
Yeah.
These days, not in a feminine energy.
Right, absolutely.
Masculine, a lot of times we see these junior pastors that have short haircuts, they preach like men,
Yeah.
sweat like men,
Man, yeah.
they're the masculine.
Yeah, they sweat like
And they walking strong.
Women don't
Ain't got
have, the masculine men don't attract to masculine females.
No, they don't.
It just don't work. A woman, one of the primary things what a man looks for in a woman is her beauty. That's what inspires her.
Yeah.
You can't be inspired by masculine women. It just don't work. So by her doing her hair, that shows that, hey, I am my feminine energy. Feminine women do it. Masculine women don't give a fuck. They cut it all off. Women trying to be real, they cut their hair off. They break up somebody, they cut it all off. Out of frustration.
It's ugly on a female when she's trying to be masculine and hard and boisterous and all that. It's ugly. It's unattractive.
slapping thighs and sitting with her legs open and
And y'all,
leaning back
we
in the
ain't
chair.
talking about that. We just talking about this. If the head covering come off and that's what it looked like, then that's gonna be a problem. That's what I was looking for. You can't see nothing else beyond that, man. But y'all, we ain't gonna belabor the point, y'all. We getting behind ourselves. Let's get right to this Numbers 30. This is what we've been going through, y'all, because this is the vow of a household, and we started out, except he build the household with the foundation of Messiah. So this Numbers 30 is the foundation, and it's talking supernaturally, because what he's doing is, a lot of things you're gonna see here are supernatural. When a man is told he has the power, if he hear his wife praying, if he actually hear the words coming out of her mouth, he can say, Lord, don't even listen to that. But they don't want that type of power. You know why? They want to be in charge of that part of the head of it to get her straight. And what you say, then I have to pound it into her. And when you start pounding, you're going to run out. And then when she start taking all of your body shots and head shots and slaps out in public, you're going to be left with, I'm going to have to kill her. She can take all the abuse. The only thing left is to kill her. Now you're on the cell block. Because you couldn't understand what the scripts is telling you about that. You cannot beat righteousness into a woman. The Messiah ain't beat righteousness in us, did he? He said, I'm going to tell you, you got life or death. You choose what you want. And it should be from the same perspective. Always choose life or death. Because a man can do a crime. If he does the wicked things he doing, and if you want it understood like that she should be part of you, then if he go down for something, then that woman goes down too. What happened to the children now?
Some property of the state.
State property.
Or the next of kin. And they ain't guaranteed they're going to be raised right.
Numbers 30, y'all.
Numbers are raised wrong.
Right. Numbers chapter 30.
Yes, sir.
Numbers chapter 30, verse 1. And Moses spake unto the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Israel, saying, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
What has the Lord done?
This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded.
See, this is a commandment, y'all. This ain't a suggestion. Let's read.
If a man vow a vow unto the Lord, and swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word.
He shall not do what?
Break his word. He shall do according to all that's proceeded out of his mouth.
So we have to be careful about what comes out of your mouth. See, you can be selling wolf tickets. What comes out of your mouth, but you still, if it's a vow and you say something, you still have to mean it. You can't double back and start begging. You have to mean what you say. Because the Most High take vows, and you see the word swear within there too, right?
Yes, sir.
So what happens is, when we're talking about covenant, there's a vow taking place, and you say to each other certain things. I promise I'll do this. That's a vow when you promise.
That's a sworn oath.
That's a sworn oath. Let's read some more.
Especially when you to death do us part.
Yes, sir.
Verse 3. If a woman also vow a vow unto the Most High, and bind herself by a bond, being in her father's house, in her youth.
So this is talking about a woman now. See, this is what we're talking about, who her covering is. Who does she vow to?
The Lord.
In whose house?
Father's house.
So we see right here that this is covering the part of Corinthians, what we're talking about. It's just not a woman we're talking about, because some women didn't have husbands. Messiah was their husband. They pledged their life to the church, to serve the church. They didn't want to get caught up in what marriage brings.
So then, this is where the Catholic Church got this money.
Yeah, absolutely. See, but what they're doing differently is they don't give them an out. You know, that if they decide to change their way, it's only when it's a vow. But if those nuns make a vow, but they're making it to that doctrine.
Yeah, they make
to the church.
To the church.
Yeah.
But there is still a mirror image. It's masquerading as an angel of light. Right. That church doctrine. See, if you understand, you know what that church is called Catholic. And no matter how you look it up, no matter what words you trace it to, it means universal church. Now, Christ was talking about a universal church. It wasn't Catholic. Hey, y'all whispering in the movie theater. I hope I don't go see a movie with y'all. See, they ain't even heard yet. But there's parts in some lost books that talk about, it says the Roman Catholic. Most people don't understand. It's talking about a universal church. They copied that and tried to make an earthly universal church, but it turns out to be the whore that sitteth upon many waters. It's in charge.
Right, because in it is a whole bunch of burdens that are placed upon them that are contrary to the creation, which Most High says, be fruitful and multiply. Well, they place a burden and say you cannot have any interaction whatsoever with the opposite sex.
Right.
So they restrict, the first commandment. And so what happens is they go into this abnormal way of thinking, and so they act out in abnormal ways.
Yes, sir.
Pedophilia,
Yeah.
and all those other ill virtues.
Paid out $125 million per year on pedophilia charges, and they just moved them to another parish. So this is imitating what's supposed to be taking place with the universal church, because he's saying, Zechariah 14, who is it include? It ain't all nations got to come up to the Feast of Tabernacles on it.
Every nation that's on the earth.
That's universal, ain't it?
Universal.
So how does it not only include Israel? You have to understand what they're doing. They're just doing a rogue version of it. Because everything stems from the Catholic Church. All man-made religions. The Protestants protested against Catholicism. And then Martin Luther, he protested. Then you got them protests against them. And then you got this. Now you got 700 religions on planet Earth. But every one of them bowed to the Pope.
And he visits every church that exists. Every religion comes out to meet him. Even the Muslims.
And he's called what? What they call it?
Holy Father.
I couldn't hear you, boy. You was chewing a little bit. Okay, that's what you said. Okay. All right, I heard it that time.
Yeah, and they kissing on his finger.
And they kissing his hand and everything. Let's read some more, y'all. I want to get caught up on this, y'all. We're getting behind time. Let's get it. Where we at?
We have verse 4. And her father, hear her vow, and her bond wherewith she hath bound her soul. And her father shall hold his peace at her. Then all her vows shall stand. And every bond wherewith she hath bound her soul shall stand.
So we got here, right here, her father heard her because she's in his house. And he heard her praying to the Lord. And he listening, he like, that's good. She may be saying, Lord, and I want to be a virtuous woman. I want to be found by a good man. I want to be found. And her father, yeah, that's what I want for you too. So look, you're not going to be a thought in here. So that's what I want you to be. Yeah, Lord, that's what I'm talking about. I agree with that vow. And see, it bound her what? Her soul. See, vows and swearing binds the soul. Affirm, if I say I affirm, the most I get is whooped on this flesh. But it won't bind my soul. Let's read some more. What else to say?
Verse 5. But if her father disallow her in the day that he heareth, not any of her vows.
Some of her vows.
Any of her vows.
Just the one she was talking about school.
Not any of her vows.
Okay.
Or of her bonds, wherewith she hath bound her soul, shall stand. And the Most High shall forgive her, because her father disallowed her.
Because her father said, no, you're not bringing him up in here. Who is people? Daddy, he just moved here. Move here from where? I asked him all that. And he want to move in here? And sleep where? In my room, he said he gonna sleep on the floor. Vow disallowed. Vow disallowed.
The hammer drops.
You and him can get out.
Yeah, hey, let's read some more.
Verse 6.
What it say?
And if she had at all an husband, when she vowed or uttered aught out of her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, and her husband heard it, and held his peace and her in the day that he heard it.
So this is a hearing process, right?
Yes.
It ain't what you thinking. You can't be told, yeah, I know what you're thinking. You think 'cause I ain't got no job, you think I ain't about nothing. She may be thinking that. But to disallow, you have to hear it. And if you make a person mad enough, they will let you hear what they feel about you. It cannot stop. It's what's getting social media in trouble. It's what got the football player in trouble because of what came out of his mouth on social media and cussing people out. And you talk about this like a dog, and they got it on social media and they say this what came out of your mouth. Now you got to go back and start trying to clean it up. What you saying about that, Mikael? Yeah. See, because we're under Melchizedek, y'all, and the two-witness rule has changed for this priesthood. See, you could get away with the fleshly priesthood of Aaron because it was a shadow of a thing to get your outer cup together mainly. It started inside because it would eventually get there and overpower it. But men could, all they were caring about at the time was two witnesses don't catch me, I can't be caught. Like the woman that was caught in adultery. If you're ready to stone her and you got lawmen with you, then the lawmen know what Deuteronomy say. If they're caught in the act, how many of them should be stoned? Both of them should be stoned. Now, how you got her on that law, finna get her head bust down to the white meat, and he's got a rock in his hand too. Well, see, according to that, you can kind of get away with that. But under this law, when the consciousness is your first witness, you know why? Because the Father put that on trial at Judgment Day, your consciousness. He said, I ain't caring about what, I don't care nothing about none of that. I'm going to visit the intents and the thoughts of your heart. That's how we're going to start this off. How you were thinking that. Now, you may have mashed your hard drive up with a hammer and thrown it and boiled it in some hot water and some CLR. But what's up here? He says on lock, I'm recording everything. I got angels recording everything you do. And when the book of life is open, we're going to go through it. And I'm going to talk about what you thought, your pre-meditation about this matter. That's your first witness.
Telling on yourself.
Yeah, you're going to tell on yourself in this witness. That's why a lot of y'all think a lot of times these people are getting away with doing dirt. Y'all, if y'all could just do follow-up stories and see what their conscience have been doing to these people. Like a lot of them police down in Dallas and what they did to Freddie Gray. Y'all just read about the stories of the police involved with the Freddie Gray story. And y'all will see what their conscience has done to a lot of suicides, y'all. A lot of them you in bed and then Freddie Gray walked past your bed.
That's right.
You kick the covers up on the ceiling fan and then he disappeared. That's the devil messing with you at that point. They messing with up here. Yeah. Make you think about it.
Told me to do that day.
Let's read some more, y'all. Let's get caught up. You at verse
7.
verse 8.
But if her husband disallowed her on the day that he heard it, then he shall make her vow which she vowed, and that which she uttered with her lips, wherewith she bound her soul, of none effect.
What kind of effect?
None effect.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High shall forgive her.
And see, and that allows the Most High to forgive her, but that's a father watching over his children. Y'all, do y'all know Job prayed every day for his children? A lot of people try to say, well, they got killed because they were celebrating a birthday. That ain't nowhere found in scripture with that. Job never prayed because he said he prayed in case they might.
He said, peradventure,
They might
have
sinned. Have sinned. He didn't know. He was just saying, y'all get together like that, y'all brothers and sisters, and they're saying on each one of their day. Never said that had nothing to do with that day, because if you run with that, then you got to explain why all his camels died. Right. And all the herdsmen got killed. Was they at the party too? The camels too? Right. The camel have a hat cocked next day. Woohoo! What day is it? It's hump day. Y'all, we can't get ignorant with it. I mean, you know, because if we be without knowledge of this subject, y'all, it's going to break us down, y'all, because we got false rulership. And we ain't understanding this one flesh like it is. This world has got us set up, it know our laws, statutes, and judgment, and is trying to break them and break us from it to get our house out of order.
That's right.
Look, if we are responsible people, the outside can't come in. You ain't never got to worry about the state coming in if everybody on point with their responsibilities. If you quit pointing at her and she quit pointing at you, and each other point at each other in the mirror, yourself point at yourself, watch it change. And if it don't change, at least you know you did. Let's read some more. Where we at? Verse 9.
Verse 9. But every vow of a widow.
Now we're talking about a widow. What is a widow, y'all?
One who doesn't have a husband.
One who her husband died. So, they always got to be 60 or can they be 19?
They could be 19.
All the men of Israel went to war when they rested was 20 years old. A lot of them didn't come back in Israel. That means they got a young widow wife at home. Let's read some more. Verse 9 again, Elisha.
Verse 9. But every vow of a widow and of her that is divorced.
So it's listening to the two. Now we got a divorced woman. So we're talking about no what? Covering. There's no covering. Let's read.
Wherewith they have bound their soul shall stand against her.
So now you ain't got no covering. So their vow was made directly to the Lord. Directly to him. The vow must stand. You talking directly to the Lord. It's got to stand. Ain't no middleman. Let's read some more.
Verse 10. And if she vowed in her husband's house, or bound her soul by a bond with an oath, and her husband heard it, and held his peace at her, and disallowed her not, then all her vows shall stand, and every bond wherewith she bound her soul shall stand.
Now it's saying, and if she made a vow while she was married before her husband died, them vows stand. Y'all have to understand that. So if she go and be another man's wife, this is why you have to know them and marry them according to knowledge. You made any vows to your prior husband? Well, yeah, I said unless a man could give me a ring, the cost of a house out in Blackjack, I wouldn't marry him. So at that point, he know me and you ain't getting married. Because if I buy a ring because what a house costs out in Blackjack, you're starting at 100 G's, ain't you a better? That vow can't stand. Or you have to really understand what somebody said in their past, that they made a vow to the Most High and their husband heard it and he didn't say nothing. The vow is locked even though he's dead.
He didn't say nothing. He didn't
Let it go.
Right.
And when you don't, that's what we're saying. When you don't say nothing, you in agreement. If you hear her say that, you just can't be mumbling. Thinking about you, old ugly woman. Make me mad. Always talking about me when you come home from work. Always talking about me. Well, that's the problem. You talking to yourself anyway. But you're still letting the vow stand what she's saying. You're just arguing how she's saying it. But you ain't said nothing. Lord, this woman half crazy. You're not like Job said when she said, man, curse God and do what? Die. And die. Job had so much paper. He was the richest man in the East, so you know how she was living.
Man.
All you have to do is get the testament of Job and you'll see how she was living and what they used to call her. They had a name for her. She always fashionable. She always fashionable. Now they say, now she shop at Payless and Walmart. I mean, they were just hitting her up like that. And she couldn't take it. So she, at that point, was hoping he would die. Not for his sake, but for her sake of the people looking at her now. She got to switch her garments up. I wore the flies garments. Oh, yeah, they had insurance policy. Abraham had one 400 years. Remember when Jacob got buried and Esau was blocking the tomb? He said, go get the document. Yep. That document was 400 years old.
Let me get them bones.
Go get them documents. Let's read some more. Verse 9.
No, we was past that. We was at like the 12.
Verse 16. No, I'm just messing with you.
12.
I gotta put y'all finger on it. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Verse 12. But if her husband hath utterly made them void on the day he heard them, then whatsoever proceeded out of her lips concerning her vow, or concerning the bond of her soul, shall not stand.
Shall not what?
Stand. Her husband hath made them void, and the Lord shall forgive her.
See, so, and y'all keep saying the thing that they're saying, the Lord shall forgive her. So the deal is, do you use this supernatural tool? Because you can wield it against yourself. Because she could be saying something good for you, like what Zipporah did for Moses, like he was talking about when she circumcised Gershom, because he was going to die through the foreskin. Did he say, Lord, disavow that? Or did he like, woman? Woo, woman. Because he'd have never got to Pharaoh to tell Pharaoh nothing. The angel was stopping him before they got to the hotel they was going to spend the night in to get on going to Pharaoh. He said, go kill him. He hard-headed already. Gershom walking around there got the eel look. And you going to offer discipline to another king and you out of order with your baby. So that was fixed. Did he say disallow that, Lord? No. Understood these type of things back then. Let's read some more. What does it say?
Verse 13. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict the soul, her husband may establish it, or her husband may make it void. He may establish it, or he may make it void. Y'all, this is the same thing in Matthew 16. When they talk about the sins you retain them. The ones you release. This is first starting with a husband and a wife. You can retain them, or you can let them go. You can tell somebody, I ain't gonna never forgive you for that. You're retaining a sin, ain't you? I ain't gonna never let it go. Or you can release and ask the Lord forgive about that. But if it's set up as a control mechanism and somebody know they got this power and they doing it unbeknown, like we're gonna get into a little bit of this Genesis 27 with Rebecca, what she told Jacob to do against her father, against his father. And then he said, you're going to bring a curse upon me, mother. What she say? Thy curse be upon who?
Me. Upon her.
If Isaac died and she got another husband, that curse ain't lifted. That curse is not lifted for tricking your daddy. She can't marry the curse away, is what it's saying. Once the vow is sealed, because the Most High take vows serious. That's why he say, let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Don't swear unless you ready to really do this. And that's why when men swore, they put their hand under the thigh. That's the closest your hand should get to a man's word, because his word is his bond, his fruitfulness. So men will put their hand right there and say, I swear. And you like this, yeah, put your hand under the thigh right there. These things were powerful. These were supernatural things. This ain't got nothing to do with no anime, you hear me? I done got off that narcotic. No, you still on that narcotic. Because you don't understand what this is saying. You're still on that narcotic because you're pointing at her faults. And when she points to yours, you say, wicked woman. You ain't supposed to tell me when I'm out of line. Okay, so now she vowed to the Lord. Lord, I'll never tell them when death is around the corner. I won't tell them people call. They said they were going to hire them yesterday. I ain't going to tell them nothing. No more. Do that vow get to stand? Probably so. She's speaking well, Lord. Because I sure don't feel like getting up in the morning. She's speaking well. What you got, bro?
Somebody online had a question.
What they saying?
Say, speaking of divorce, how does a Hebrew Israelite brother divorce his ex-wife? I met an Hebrew brother and he told me he gave his ex-wife a letter of divorcement through the internet.
Through the internet.
Negro, please.
See, the problem is, again, we got rules that look, if the woman made a vow like that, you have to understand the Lord will let that stand, but it'll stand as wickedness. Y'all have to understand, he ain't hurting her, he hurting himself. Because for one, it's not public knowledge.
It's all out of.
It has to be public knowledge. You have to be able to go to a courthouse before you get married and check some records if somebody's married. Oh yeah, they got divorced last June on the 15th. Yeah, it's divorce right there. I see it. Before you make a deal. Who she gonna show that to on the internet?
She's supposed to download it.
Download it to what library that I can access or that you can access? So that you don't holler at her if you see her out in the marketplace.
It's foolishness.
How I know you done sent her a text message? Weez Stew, W-E-E-Z, T-H-E-W.
If you get a license to get married, shouldn't at least you get a license to be unmarried?
It's the same process.
In order to have a license to divorce, you have to have a license to announce it in the beginning.
Public notice.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how you gonna give them a bill of divorcement and there's no certificate of marriage in the first place? So what are you divorcing?
It's
I bet
still,
you it wasn't no marriage certificate in the first place. It was
Fornication.
and it wasn't two witnesses, y'all. So we don't want to get hung up in that because I got a couple scripts I want to really get into, y'all. We're going to finish off this Numbers 30, y'all. But what I'm trying to get established here is that 51%, that percent that puts you over the top is the spiritualness that says I can make decisions for this household. The Lord looks to me to say yea or nay about any situation. If I'm crooked and if I'm using this again, it's going to come back and hurt me. It's not going to hurt the world. It's going to crumble you down. Because the Lord going to give you what you ask. And He know when you playing around. A lot of vows are made after midnight. Yeah, I don't need to say no more. A lot of vows are made then. Ain't no witnesses there, is it?
none.
Ain't no two witnesses there.
So you had to have, so that interview was you that Grand Hotel.
Is that where you go?
But that's what he heard. He heard that. See, he hear a lot of things too. Go ahead.
He ain't the one that gossip.
He right.
But you say you was doing that and you decided you want to get married right quick. And so the guy just goes to, I guess, the front desk, and get like a person at the front desk, somebody else staying in the motel.
Absolutely. Look, if you go to the court, if you go to Vegas, ain't there two witnesses? It's the same thing. Vegas is just a hotel city. The whole city is just hotels. That's all it is. That's where you stay when you go to Las Vegas. I'm talking about the city, not talking about the outskirts. I'm talking about everywhere in there is a hotel. And every one of them have marriage chapels up in them. And then they saying, come here before you go upstairs. That's the honorable thing. Stop in here before you go to your floor.
In the lobby.
And there's always going to be two witnesses in there. See, the script ain't forcing money out of your pocket and say, have an extravagant wedding and do all of this. It said you need two people there in case something happened. These people can vouch for you.
Our witness to it.
And it ain't like you got to do no whole lot of drawing up contracts. Everybody got a script, and most scripts got this in front of them. What that say? That's a marriage certificate. You can get two witnesses to sign that. You can have a marriage ceremony down and take it down to the court to get it notarized. $12. Is that how much it is now? Sis, what's this go? Sis, how much Notary Republic now? How much is Notary Republic now? Not you though. I'm just saying the average price. If they $6? $6, y'all. If you ain't got that, because you know you can't have two marriage certificates in this land. Because it said obey the laws of the land. They say you can't have two. Well, you say I'm going to have two anyway. And you still need paperwork, partner. You need a life insurance policy. You need a power of attorney. And guess what? It still have to be notarized.
By law.
By law. Ain't nobody just gonna turn that power over to you. You standing outside intensive care. No, don't nobody know about it, you know. See, y'all wasn't there when we got married. No, we wasn't there when you got married. That's what the problem is.
And that's
Don't nobody know. And then her parents there. I told the guards not to let him in here.
Yeah. He has no power.
Now he fighting with the guards. I'm her husband. They got two different names. We's married now. That's what he's saying right there. But y'all, let's finish this up, y'all, because I'm getting behind time, y'all. Go ahead, sis.
At one time we were, another time, they said that you had to have 10 witnesses in order to make a declaration. So, so you had to have 2 witnesses, 10, in order to make a belief. So when you would confess before the Father, you would have these 10 witnesses so they could all test. This is what you said to the Father. That's the next thing was, isn't there something in one, and I was trying to find it, and it was talking about a witness for the Father says he's a witness, and I was trying to find it, Isaiah 43,
What is saying, a witness for what?
and it says how the Father witnesses your testimony toward what you do because of your words.
Absolutely, your deeds and words, but look, it only said 2. See, 10 came from some other doctrine. This doctrine say 2.
Yeah,
It said,
By 2 witnesses, at the most 3.
1 Corinthians 13, Matthew
Every word be
18.
established.
Right.
So it's all, everything is based on those. He says, "Shall no man be put to death by according to one
witness."
Right.
And even this land and all the other lands go according to that in their court of law.
Right.
That we need. If you see on cop shows, they get one witness. They always say we need to find another
Or
witness
make him
to say,
confess.
or make him confess. But we need at least 2 witnesses verifying the same thing. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to prove this in a court of law.
And we're going to let him go?
We gotta let
Whether
him
he
go.
did it or not.
We got to let him go because we don't have sufficient evidence from another witness or his testimony to bind him to it. So therefore, we got to let him go according to the law. And that law is based off of the Most High's law.
And see, he sent them out by 2. This is why we're talking about when somebody talk about you got to do street teaching and you got 15 out there. That ain't recorded nowhere. Nowhere. He sent them out by 2. See, if 10,000 flee at one of you and 100,000 flee at 2 of you, what do he need 15 of you for?
To be seen.
Look, the Antichrist, the most powerful, wicked ruler that ever gonna hit this earth, 2 are going to face him. Not 100, not 1,500, not a bunch of that's right men. 2. And I was talking to young Nat Turner the other day, and we were talking about because he said he spent a little time in the Jehovah's Witness, and I told him, I said, do you see what 2 Jehovah's Witnesses coming down the street could do to a whole porch of people playing dominoes? Watch them disappear. They ain't got no weapon. Hell, we done been hiding. You peeping and hiding like this.
And then on top of that,
Right.
it's 2 old ladies.
And you run.
It'd be a house full of gangsters.
Right.
Shoot 'em up, boys. That will flee into the crib and close the door, close the blinds and everything.
And everybody like this.
And it's two elderly women.
And they keep knocking. We know y'all in there. Come on, hear the word of the Lord. And these gangsters in there.
Yeah, fact.
Man, don't wreck that. They gonna hurt you.
2 walking down the street, knocking on your door, and they got mastery. But what we train ourselves to do is snatch the door open. Hey, how y'all doing today? Come on in.
Come on in. Have a
Let's
seat.
break bread. And it's strange to them.
Uh-huh.
And they be ready. They ready to run in. Like, oh, it's time to go.
We getting invited? So y'all, this is why when he say what he mean, he don't need no army. He said, I got 10,000. That's what he told Peter. Put your sword up.
Then why you filming it and putting it on YouTube? What is that?
Boy,
To be seen of me.
to be seen
To
of
be
me.
seen of men.
Let's get caught up, y'all.
Men followers.
Where we at? On this Numbers 30.
Verse 12.
No, you way
No,
past
we
that.
down
You on
14.
14.
But if her husband altogether hold his peace at her from day to day, then he established her all her vows, or all her bonds, which are upon her. He confirmed them, because he held his peace at her in the day that he heard them.
See, and this is why we can't get into Negro Dr. Philism. We can't control marriages or get in there and be counselors for a man's marriage, because we don't know what vows he heard and didn't say nothing. We don't know what vow she made and he ain't said nothing. We ain't got a clue about what's happening on the other side of midnight. Them vows being made like that and covenant work taking place. How we know that, and how we gonna step in the middle of that and then listen to both sides argue and fight about this? Y'all know them vows y'all made. We're not gonna get in the middle of them vows. We're gonna tell you what the Lord said. Now y'all take that up with him. That's who y'all saying signed off on it, didn't it? Mm-hmm. You didn't have two witnesses around here. We didn't see it. We can't sign off. What are you doing? Think two of us sitting in there like the slave masters to do and watch live porno? Damn. So you think we gonna come in there and watch y'all get married like that? Brother.
You ain't doing that right.
You gonna be asleep in a few seconds. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying. If you get married that way first, then there got to be two witnesses there. Finish that off, Elijah. Verse 15.
15. But if he shall any ways make them void after that he hath heard them, then he shall bear her iniquity.
Then he shall bear her iniquity. Look, if you heard her say these things, you didn't say nothing. Then after a while, you want to say something. She don't get the punishment. Guess who get it? You get it. It's the same way the Messiah say, if you put away a woman, except it be fornication, that means spiritual first. Don't mean just fleshly, spiritual, because she could be a daughter of Belial, like Jezebel was. Jezebel ain't seen messing with no other men, is she? Well, that's on record at. Faithful for Ahab, but she was a spiritual
That
woman.
wicked spirit.
She was a daughter of Belial.
Unclean spirit.
So he could have put her away for that. He said, except this for that. Don't come to me talking about that. Moses allowed y'all to do that. Y'all was going crazy. So he just told y'all to keep y'all from just beating up on women and throwing them away to the welfare system. I'm allow y'all to, to take one who don't have a covering. It's the only reason that polygamy came into effect. Because it never, when he told, didn't he tell Noah and his sons to be fruitful and multiply?
Yeah.
How many was on that ark?
8.
How many wives each one of them had?
One.
And filled the whole what?
Earth.
Women of the law.
And fulfilled the whole what? Earth.
The world with
Replenish. They did
everybody
replenish.
come from them. You don't need your efforts. Nor your speaking in vain saying the Lord said.
Let's finish that out, Elijah. Verse 16.
Verse 16. These are the statutes which the Most High commanded Moses between a man and his wife.
Between who?
A man and his wife.
And his buddies.
His wife.
And a couple high priests.
His wife.
Go ahead.
Between the father and his daughter, being yet in her youth in her father's house.
See, and then when we get into the house of the assembly, like Miriam had to be put out for speaking against Moses' wife that saved his life. And say, you married that old outside heifer.
Married that Ethiopian.
Married that old outside heifer, and she's doing it. God spoke to me too. You think you don't I'm a prophetess. You better ask somebody. And he brought Aaron and her out. He like, y'all likes the fat mouth, don't you?
That Jezebel spirit.
And he said, she can't put her out, turned into a leper. He said, because you know what? If she said this or did this in her father's house, if he but spit in her face, she would have to be put out 7 days. And when you would spit in her face is when she would come home pregnant to your house. Shame. He would spit in her face, and spit, you know what spit is. Got to put about 7 days. Somebody, you could have a plate like this and all your food could be over here and a toothpick over there. Somebody talking and chewing, and spit right there. You hold that plate like this for 3 days. Till he get through talking, and then you dump it.
Because that just defiled the
Your whole plate.
Y'all done seen it?
like a flopping.
You put a napkin over it. Don't you do meat flying out of his mouth and on his teeth to make a sandwich with that.
Butter.
And you like, no, I'm through, dog. I don't know why. I've been getting kind of full lately with one bite.
Cheese.
Don't know what you missing. You don't know.
growling like I don't know what.
We finished that, didn't we, Elijah?
Yeah.
Let's get right to the heart of the matter. 1 Corinthians 15:28, y'all. We're going to hit all of these dealing with the subject matters that we came in between, y'all. And this is what I wanted to get into. So before we get into that, Elijah, yeah, go ahead and get that. Let's get that 1 Corinthians 15:28. And then I want to hit 1 Tim 5, because this is something very important about taking care of your household. Some like to make this only about widows, but we just seen about widows. How you supposed to take care of a widow. If she beyond the age, the widow, she got her own place. It's upon the church house to check on that widow. Everybody in the house needs to call and check on them. You can't just let them, they ain't got no nephews or sons. It's the house responsibility. Ain't nobody else's responsibility. She done been assisting the church like this all the time. Now we just throw them away. No, you can't do it. You got to ask about them, see how they doing. How you doing? How you doing? Send a shout out some so they can respond back. I'm doing okay. Okay, you need anything? No, don't need nothing. Okay, good. Let us know. Because if they can't return, if they're a widow of 60 years old, most likely their parents are dead. So what they gonna do, y'all? A young woman get to go back to her house. We're gonna hit some scripts concerning that, because we're gonna clear that up. That 1 Tim ain't just talking about some widows. It's talking about the household of widows. Because they keep looking at her with one eye, that she's old as hell. That ain't what the scripture talking about, because we got young widows. Let's read some more. Where we at? 1 Corinthians 15:28. Then we're gonna hit 1 Tim 5.
Okay. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 28.
What it say?
And when all things shall be subdued unto him,
Right.
then shall the Son also himself be subject unto him.
See, who the Messiah gonna be subjected to when all things are done? Keep reading.
That put all things under him, that God may be all in all.
See, so he's saying, the Messiah is saying, when I give the world, the Messiah gonna give the world back to the Father who gave it to him. But he said, I'm still in subjection to my heavenly Father. I'm in subjection, total submission to the Father. No matter what I got going over here, I'm in total submission to my Father and subjection. I'm gonna listen to his rule till existence is no more. And it ain't no more in the heavenly realm. It continues to go, because righteousness don't end in that realm. Where we at?
Verse 29.
What it say?
Else what shall they do, which are baptized for the dead? If the dead rise not at all, why are they then baptized for the dead? And why stand we in jeopardy every hour?
See, so he's saying, look, if the dead not rise, why we get baptized? It ain't no resurrection. That's what baptism is for. Resurrection. If it ain't about resurrection, then why are we getting dipped in water for being dead? We're going to continue to be dead. Your mindset is not coming up to be resurrected into life, into a kingdom. If this don't happen for Messiah, we wasting our time with baptism. That's why you have to make sure people understand when they go down in that water and come back up, what's up here? Because you can just come up a wet sinner. And you want to be tearing your t-shirt off in the baptism pool. Thank you, Jodeci did. Where we at, bro?
Verse 31.
No, that's good on that. Let's get right to it. 1 Tim 5. Y'all, we're gonna get this cleaned on up, y'all. We're gonna get into a couple stories, y'all, while we got 1 hour. Did y'all hear me?
Here we go. Here we go to calm down. Count up.
Where we at, y'all?
1 Timothy
Let everybody get there. How we looking, y'all?
Chapter
See
5.
if they got any questions out there so far. Y'all, nothing can be done in secret, y'all, with the Most High say, because I'll reveal it on the rooftop anyway. So might as well just come clean with him.
Everybody there? We're reading from the book of Timothy, 1 Timothy, chapter 5, verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren.
So does this mean you can't tell an elder off? Or you can't do this? What it's talking about is rebuke, means sharp criticism, sharp reproof. You can't do it like that to an elder. The Bible will never allow you to speak to your elders that way and put you in jeopardy of the 5th commandment. It ain't gonna never allow you to be in that position because Messiah never did. When his mother and them came for him, he just asked, who is my brother and my brother? Those that keep the word of God.
But
That's my mother and my brother. But then
he got up and left.
He got up and
Still got
subject
up and
himself.
did it.
But he just asked, well, what no rebuke? They like, didn't y'all know I was about my father's business? I'm about my father's business. Now you got some camps out there are used because the script said his mother and his father stood without. But the problem is they didn't keep reading them next verses when he said, don't y'all know? Y'all know, Mary and Joseph. I'm about my father's business. Was Joseph's business in the temple?
No, he's a carpenter.
Right, unless he built it. So y'all, we understand that it wasn't talking about that father, and he confronted him right off, y'all. So we got to be careful that we keep reading and don't let these charlatans trick you and change the script on you. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 2.
What it say?
The elder woman is mother.
The elder woman's as what?
Mothers.
See, you got to treat them like you would treat your own mother. Now, if you cuss your mother out, then that's a problem.
Remember I was saying that to you last week?
Look, your daddy will run you off with a pistol, but your mama will be there with you no matter what. If your mama tell you, you rotten to the coat.
To the door. That'll door.
If your mama do that, it's some major problems, y'all. It's hard to recover from that. If she does that, that's a major problem. Men, it may be just testosterone. He telling you one king up in here, boy. One king, K-A-N-G. Not two. Let's read some more.
Verse 3.
What it say?
Honor widows that are widows indeed.
Honor widows that are widows indeed. Y'all see, this is what it's telling you now. Most people keep looking at this like this is talking about older women. Widows can start at marriage. You know why a man was given, how long was he given off to do what for his wife? 1 year to please up his wife before he went to war. And it's starting at age 20. That may be the last time she see him at 20 years old. So now she's a what? Widow. Let's read some more.
Let me read that 2 again. I kind of missed the end of it. 2 again. The elder women as mothers, the younger as sisters, and it said with all purity.
With all what?
Purity. Honor widows that are widows indeed. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents.
And to do what?
Requite their parents. For that is good and acceptable before God.
So now it's saying that the widow's got family members. You know, before the church step in, let family members be involved with that. Because you don't want to try to take control of nobody inheritance. Like we stepping in for this family, she got family members. If you got problems with brothers and sisters fighting over who's going to get the TV and the iron, You sure ain't gonna have, you sure gonna have major problem of church coming in trying to start some mess, talking about she's a sister of the church. No, if she got family members, let them handle her business for her.
And that's what's caused a lot of
Confusion.
strife in family and churches. The church is like, she's been a member of the church for X amount of years, so we have rights to all her estate. And the family come in and say, no, she's been a part of our family all her life. Now you gotta fight.
Yes, sir.
Verse 5.
What it say?
Now she that is a widow indeed, and desolate, trusted in God, and continueth in supplications and prayer night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth.
See, look, it's understanding when you're a widow and you lost a husband, what you think, it don't want you to be in rebound mode. No matter what age you are of a widow, it wants you to put your mind on the Lord because you're in this situation and you may get another husband that may get killed. Not just saying he's doing anything wrong, but as long as wrong is in the world, you may be a widow again. Get married to one that you ain't never got to worry about going to a funeral for, the Messiah. You ain't got to worry about going to his funeral ever. So this is what it's trying to keep your focus on. But hold that and give me 1 Corinthians 7. Really quickly, I just want the part where it said the woman does the thing that's marriage for the Lord. And see, this is Paul quoting the same thing. You know, so these brothers was on point with the same conversation. Now 1 Corinthians 7, right when it said, you know what I'm talking about. You hold your point, let's get it. No, for the, no, I won't right there for the, for unto the married I command not the Lord for, if she be for, okay.
He that carries marriage.
Right, yeah, you know what I want, yeah. 33, that's what I want, Elisha. 1 Corinthians 7:33, and see, don't this match up with exactly what it's saying and we get some understanding. What does it say about that, Elisha?
I'm gonna start verse 32.
Okay.
But I would have you without prayerfulness. He that is unmarried cares for the things that belong to the Lord.
What does he that do that's unmarried, what do he care about?
For the things that belong to the Lord.
Okay.
How he may please the Lord. But he that is married careth for the things that are of the world. How he may please his wife.
See, and that's just one woman. Now you think about you got 3 or 4, you ain't gonna never think about the Lord. How you gonna have time? Your focus gonna be on making sure no wolf creeping that go. You ain't got strength to deal with 3 or 4 more of them. The rotation must keep going. Due benevolence is on them. You ain't gonna have no time for the Lord.
Absolutely no.
That's why the scripture say a bishop must be blameless, having one wife.
What it say, boy?
Blameless with one wife.
Yes, sir.
Verse 34.
What it say?
There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin.
A wife and a who?
Virgin. The unmarried woman cared for the things of the Most High, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
How she may please who?
Her husband.
Law, is this saying we shouldn't get married?
No.
Is Paul contradicting himself, or he just telling you what comes along with that territory? Because you can't never forget about the Lord. This is why he said make sure you marry according to knowledge. Because if you don't, you're going to be spinning your wheels
In the mud.
concerned about her curves and these things of the world, and you ain't going to be, the Lord is going to be out of the picture. Then you're going to have to bring in Ike Turner. You're going to have to bring in the middleman to straighten her out.
Let me get this 35.
Go ahead, what it say?
And this I speak for your own profit.
For your own what?
Profit. That not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that ye may attend upon the Most High without distraction.
Without what?
Distraction.
Without distractions, y'all. He tell you if you got one woman, and y'all, this ain't no deal that where I'm attacking multiple things. I'm just telling you what he said when you're dealing with one. When you're dealing with 2 or 3, that means 2 or 3 more problems. If it's a problem situation that ain't handled, he said, go to the rooftop of where? than to do what? Than a contentious
Well, in an
woman.
open room with a woman, brawling woman.
That's just one. And you got 3 or 4 up in there and they're all brawling at you. Just think of that Hustle and Flow scene when he was putting the woman to one out with her baby. Did y'all see that chaos in there?
Confusion.
Everybody hollering, screaming, and crying. It was out of control. Let's get back to this 110.
110. Verse 7.
What it say?
1 Timothy chapter 6. Chapter 5, verse 7.
Yes, sir.
And these things give in charge that they may be blameless.
That they may be what?
Blameless.
Verse 8 is the kicker.
But if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house.
See, we started out with the house, y'all, and this is talking about your household, which is included. Jacob said 70 souls went down to Egypt. It was considered his household. He didn't have 70 children. He had 12 sons and a daughter. And they had children, but it was considered his house. Whatever happens within his house. But it get watered down for that undercover work. And you're not talking about the whole house. We're talking about this house. Let's read some more. What else is that?
Verse 8. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he had denied the faith, and is worse than an infidel.
What has this got to do with widows only? What does this have to do with widows only? It said your household. You have children a part of your household. It's part of the household. Widows are part of that childbearing household. Let's read some more. What you got back there, Theo?
So, I'm just, say this, trying to take care of my family and everything in the past, but I don't have enough money to pay for my family. Should I give him the past money?
No. If you do,
That's on you.
that's right.
You want to be an infidel?
That's right. That's what you're going to turn into, because that's what's going to happen. Because you're going to give him and you ain't going to have nothing for your household.
You can't provide for them, you an infidel.
I just want to make sure people that actually put out with the gas, they send them $100 worth of time money.
Well, if they doing that, like I say, it comes down to, instead of calling you Theo, yes, brother sucker, I mean Theo. We need a few extra shekels from you today.
Verse 9. Let not a widow be taken into the number, understanding 80 years old.
Under 80.
Under 80 years old, having been the wife of one man. Well reported of for good works, if she have brought up children, if she have lodged strangers,
Right.
if she have washed the saints' feet, if she have relieved the afflicted, if she have diligently followed every good work.
So it's indeed, widows indeed, y'all. This is the indeed part. This is why you would go the extra mile for a widow like this. You see her jacket? You see what she's required to have under there before you make a decision. You see, the Most High don't make you do blind contribution, just like you said, Theo. You got to look and see a track record should be following that individual. Let's read some more. What else is that?
Verse 11. But the younger widows.
But the younger who?
Widows.
Is there such a thing?
Yes, there is.
Go ahead. And we're still talking about the same household language. Oh, go ahead.
But the younger widows refuse. For when they have begun to wax wanton against Christ, they will marry.
They will do what?
Marry.
Look, I'm tired.
I'm tired of being alone.
Right. I'm tired of that man I can only pray to.
Verse 12. Having damnation, because they have cast off their first faith, and withal they learn to be idle.
What did they learn to be?
Idle. And wandering about from house to house, and not only idle, but tattlers. Also in busybodies, speaking things which they ought not.
So that's what ended up leading to a widow like that, a younger widow, if they get their mind messed up and they get tired of waiting on the Lord. They're gonna fall off, y'all. They're gonna fall into silly womenism But Holiness, give me some Genesis 38 and 11, because what I said, I want to hit examples so that we stay on the same page, because a lot of people are saying that was talking about widows above 70, and it was only talking about taking care of them. We're talking about young widows and the household. Give me Genesis 38 and 11. What's that say?
Genesis.
Let everybody get caught up. We're going to see if Judah, even through his wickedness, followed the law. Start at about, we want 11, but let's start about 7.
Yes, 7. The firstborn.
Y'all, we're going to hit on points because the Bible interprets itself. We can't make widow be what we want to be. All we can talk about is the rules for a widow. Us doing word etymology ain't going to help us with the law of a young widow or an old widow when it comes down to who you're supposed to take care of in your household. Your daughter lost your husband. She's your daughter again. She's not a tire shop member candidate.
Tire shop member.
Yeah, she'll walk by fixing a tire. Yeah, here your old man passed on. You need nobody to spend a little time with, do you?
I can fix that car for you.
Right, I can fix that car. Don't you know, no? That's what it'll be.
No.
Right. Let's read where we at, bro.
Genesis 38 and verse 7.
What it say?
And Judah's firstborn,
Right.
was wicked in the sight of the Most High, and the Most High slew him.
The Most High slew Judah's firstborn son, because we start off, he married a Canaanite woman. What were we forbidden to do? Marry
Outside the
It's a
tribe.
Canaanite woman. This is the offspring. And he was wicked. That means he was practicing sin. That's when you're called wicked, when you practice sin. Let's read some more.
Verse 8. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother.
Right?
And Onan knew that the seed should not be hid.
What did he know?
That his seed would not be hid.
So y'all, this is a supernatural situation going on here, because he knows that that seed not going to be mine, even though I'm doing the physical act. Let's read some more.
Spiritually it won't.
Yeah.
And Onan, verse 9. And Onan knew that the seed should not be hid. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife.
Now see where the conscience is at? He already know it ain't gonna be my brother's wife. What is he doing going through them 10 doors there?
Lust.
What got it?
I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
I'm gonna just do it for the sake
For
of
the
the
sake
action.
of it. For the action.
I just want to do the deed. I don't want the responsibility. Like we have a many in Israel now. I want to marry multiple wives. I want to do this deed, but I don't want the responsibilities of the seed.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
boy,
that's it.
boy.
Yeah.
Let's get it, bro. Yeah. Go ahead, boy. Let's get this. Because I got about...
Verse 9.
Yeah.
And Onan knew that the seed should not be his, and it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilt it on the ground.
What'd he do?
Spilt it on the ground.
Quartus interruptus. Some will say this why a man shouldn't be doing hand employment. This ain't got nothing to do with hand employment.
That ain't what it's about.
Nothing to do with hand employment.
I had a Christian tell me that years ago, but couldn't tell me where it was.
See, this ain't got nothing to do with it. This is somebody that's supposed to be doing a deed for his wife,
yes.
and yet he pulled quarters. This ain't got nothing to do with a man by himself with candles going and the lights turned down low.
He was ordered to.
This ain't got nothing to do with that.
No.
To make that a crime for this crime is somebody don't know the law of the Lord, and they reach it. Let's read some more, Elijah.
I'm going to hit that again. And Onan knew that his seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilt it on the ground, lest he should give seed to his brother.
See, lest he should give seed to his brother. This ain't got nothing to do with you getting in the mood for yourself.
This was dealing with his past brother.
That's another level.
Still sin.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And the thing which he did displeased the Most High.
What it do?
Displeased him. Wherefore he slew him also.
So what displeased him?
His
Spilling on the ground or going into his brother's wife. Just getting
The
disobedience.
spiritual nature
Disobedience.
within his heart that he didn't want to give seed unto his brother.
Disobedience.
He wanted to do that, but he didn't want the responsibility.
didn't want to what?
The responsibility.
Other
Disobedience.
child.
Disobedience.
Because he still got to be an uncle, even though he knows his son. Let's
Gotta
read
play
some
the
more.
role of the uncle. Not only that, that child gets the inheritance of the brother, not his inheritance.
Absolutely.
He used to
The firstborn
be.
for his brother.
He used to be named after his brother as well.
Yes, sir.
Let's read some more. Verse 9. Verse 10.
11, actually.
Okay.
I can hit 10 again, so we roll right into it.
Okay.
And the thing which he did displeased the Most High, wherefore he slew him also.
Okay.
Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law.
His what?
Daughter-in-law.
His daughter-in-law. Because technically he got 2 sons dead, but he got a 3rd son. So she's still a widow. Lord killed the first one, and he killed the second one about wicked deed, but he got a baby son. So she's still a young widow. And the law of the brother, because there's still one brother left.
Yep.
Let's read some more.
Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow in thy father's house.
Remain a what?
Widow in thy father's house.
In whose house?
Her father's house. She was sent back to her daddy's house because her husbands were dead and she was young.
Y'all see this? She had to go back. So now Numbers 30 is back over this young widow. Number 30's back on it. So 1 Tim 5 comes into effect. If he don't take care of this young widow daughter, shame on him. You think Judah sent her back there for her to live, in squalor or maybe being taken advantage of or some rogue uncles over there? No, he did the law. But then he messed up again. Let's read some more. What else to say, Elijah?
And he said,
Verse 11.
Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, to Shelah, my son be grown.
Till my son be grown, so she gonna have a young husband. This the baby boy. You got to wait on him. Wait for him, y'all. And see how the waiting game is going? This wasn't no rebound action. You got to wait. He may have been 13 or 14. You need to give him a few years. You need to get him, he's got to settle into manhood. He's got to understand whether you're going to be 10 years older than him, but he still needs to be a man. You can't bring no boy in here.
Be capable of responsibilities.
Let's read some more.
Wait till Shelah my son be grown, for he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was confident and went up to his sheep shearers to Timnah, he and his friend Hira, the Adulamite. And it was told to him, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnah to shear his sheep.
So now she hearing about it, and she like, Shayla old enough now. He going where? Oh, he up that way? I'm heading up that way. Go ahead, bro, read some more.
Verse 14. And she put her widow's garments off from her.
So you see, she still had them on, didn't she, all this whole time? Go ahead, what she put them on?
Following the commandment that go and remain a widow in thy father's house.
Go ahead.
So she took them off of her and covered her with a veil and wrapped herself and sat in an open place, which is by the way to Timnah. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife.
So we can hold her. Y'all know the rest of the story. Judah ended up with her, which was another sin because he kept breaking the rule. Even though he watched his 2 sons do what they do, he still broke the rule to give his younger son. Why? Because he's thinking, Lord may kill him too. At least if I don't let him marry her or be around women, eventually he gonna want a woman sooner or later.
Hopefully.
But you trying to hold him back and he get caught up with her. Y'all just wanted to touch on that about a widow. Give me 2 Samuel 20:3, the last one on another widow. And we're going to see here some understanding of what David did. And widow still had a living husband. 2 Samuel, give me 2 Samuel 20, verse 3. If you get rid of the big R, it's going to be a problem. It's a principle we had. John Spicer. Every day come on the walkie-talkie. RCC. Responsibility, choices, and consequences. RCC. If the responsibility ain't met, there's going to be choices. And then there's going to be consequences. You choose life or death, y'all. It ain't hard. Let's read what it say, Elijah. Oh, who got it? 2 Samuel 20, verse 3.
2 Samuel chapter 20, verse 3.
What it say?
And David came to his house at Jerusalem. And the king took the 10 women, his concubines, whom he had left to keep the house, and put them inward, and fed them.
What'd he do?
Fed them. But went not in unto them.
So he went not in unto these concubines. So now does that violate the duty of due benevolence to your wife? Is he violating things because he's not going into them? Well, there's a reason why he's not. Go ahead, bro.
And he put them in ward and fed them, but went not in unto them. So they were shut up until the day of their death, living in widowhood.
How were they living in what?
Widowhood.
And King David, their husband, when he's alive, why are they living like widows? You know why? Because if we back it up, you see Absalom had his way with all 10 of them. He can't go back into territory his son done been in.
Defiled land.
But it ain't they fault. You know whose fault it is? It's David's fault. Because when Nathan told him, you the man, and he said, this the punishment for the Lord. Your son gon' disrespect you in front of all of Israel. Out in the open. This gonna be a known thing for you, David.
Your son.
So the widow shouldn't have to be responsible for that, but they just caught up in the madness. But guess what David did? What he do? He put them in where? He put them in a house. What else he do with them? He fed them. So you know he clothed them. And went not into them, didn't touch them no more till they did what?
Died.
Till they died. Ain't this the same household?
But he's keeping the law. He's keeping the Levitical law.
One gonna have that worse than an infidel on him because that's his problem. That's all I want to get on that.
And he hadn't given a bill of divorce when they went about. It was that his land was defiled.
Yes, sir.
He couldn't go back into that.
Yeah.
Because then he now makes void the law to all of Israel. He the king.
Yeah.
We can't do
If
that.
the head is messed up, the body's gonna
Sure is. Yes, sir.
That'd be a
The head is
terrible-
sick, the whole body is sick.
Terrible example.
Did we finish that down to verse 16 at 110?
Yeah, we hit the last one.
We hit the last one?
No, we didn't. We was at 14.
Let's get it, finish this up, y'all, because I got about 38 minutes.
1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 14.
What it say?
I will therefore that the younger women marry, bear children, guard the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully.
This is what he's training them to be. To be young. Not to be young because you're going to get older. What I'm saying is to stay in a young woman's place. Learn the ropes. It's just like when the Messiah was at the house and Martha and her younger sister was there. Martha out there, the disciples out there, Martha kind of sitting in the cup listening. She hearing what the Lord is saying. The younger sister come out. She tired of washing dishes. She want to get in on the conversation. Messiah checked her. He said, look, hold up. Look, sis, you going to get a chance to get in on this, but at least learn the ropes first. Learn the steps of what it is. Learn the law, what we just read right here. That's all he was telling you. You got to learn those things before you can sit down in a conversation. You want to come here and you're going to leave them dishes in the sink. That's going to be a problem when we get through breaking bread. We're going to need something to drink, ain't we? A little something to eat on, but we ain't got no plates. Who eat off a dirty plate? Who drink out of a cup washed on the outside, but the inside still got something in it?
Just like the Titus tell the aged sisters to teach the young sisters to live sober and dress in modest apparel. Teach them the ropes, how to get up to that level
Yes, sir.
of virtuosity
Yeah,
in a
that's good.
woman.
That's a good word. Ariel ain't here though. Is that a word, Ariel? Go ahead. But verse 14, you finish. Hit that 15.
Okay, 15. For some are already turned aside after Satan.
See, so some had already turned off aside for Satan because they can't wait. They in rebound mode. Girl, who you saving that for? All of these terms that
Yeah.
talk them into
Yeah. Bad influence.
bad influence.
But they ain't nobody but Satan anyway.
But you see here what he said, that younger women get married. But we just read in 1 Corinthians 7, it says that the younger women, when they marry, they're going to be thinking about their husband. But it's better to marry than to burn
Or be
in
Tatiana.
lust. Because y'all not talking about burning like a fire, talking about burning with lust. And that's what's going to happen.
Tatiana.
Yeah, what you call them?
Tatiana.
Tatiana.
Yeah, Tatiana.
No, I ain't never heard that, boy.
That's her.
I'm just getting past the skis.
Tatiana.
A hoochie mama, thought
Tatiana.
I had to ask my children what's a thought.
Right.
It was a thought.
Hey, I didn't know. I just kept quiet till I figured.
You're right. Let's finish that last verse and move on.
Man, because we come into different generations and
Yeah.
say all different sayings, and my son just bust out laughing. He like, Daddy, I'm like, oh.
Right.
Yeah, like the term drip. Oh, you got that drip. You got that drip. I'm like, what is that?
The drip.
The drip. I'm like, oh,
Back when we was coming up, if you had a drip, that wasn't
you
nothing.
need to go up to the hospital and
Grand,
get
you had
checked
to go
out.
on grand out here.
Now it's called a style, or you got that fashion. that
Oh, okay. Oh, you ain't talking about going on grand.
No,
that's what
I'm
I
talking about some
thought.
clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. See, we way out of touch.
Way
But that's why we got to stick with the record.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse
Verse
16.
16.
If any man or woman that believeth have widow, let them relieve them.
Let them do what?
Relieve them.
If any man, any father, any husband, if you got widows around, let them do what?
Relieve them.
Uh-huh.
And let not the church be charged, that it may relieve them that are widows indeed.
Basically, it's saying don't put your mama off on us when you can be taken care of. Oh, so then you're going to come when the church take care of them. Here you come to the funeral with a power of attorney document. Now you want to battle the church that's been taken. This is what the Messiah was talking about when they say you say Father, but you say it's Corbin. It's a gift. Basically, we're going to give the church $20,000 for y'all to take care of my mama. I got things to do.
Yeah, I ain't got time.
Y'all supposed to be taking care of my mama. I paid y'all, didn't I? Then why she still got on that same pamper for 2 days? That's your responsibility. What you got, brother? Yes, he did. Look, what happened? What did he say when he was up on the cross? On his deathbed. He looked down, saw his mama weeping. He said, Mother, behold, thy son who? John. John. My mama, man.
Take care of her.
My mama, man.
Take care of her.
I got you, Messiah. I got you. Y'all understand this process even in death? And Negroes talking about this, just talking about, oh, they was just talking about widows. That wasn't talking about taking care of your household. Really? Boy, you Negroes don't want no parts of responsibility. Look in your dictionary, it jumps to a next word. Where it's supposed to be responsibility, then it skips.
Senior citizen home.
Out the pitch.
Well, at this day and age, the condition we're in, at least you got to be there to go check on it.
Right.
The problem what he's saying is, Corbin, you trust the system, and then you get camera footage of one of them workers beating up your mom. Now you ready to come in there and kill everybody.
Or file a lawsuit. lawsuits and all this, when all that could have been prevented had you done it what you were supposed to do. Back in the day, we didn't put our parents, our elderly in
Senior
nursing homes.
citizens
We cleaned out
did.
the back room,
Living
Big
room.
Mama and or whoever,
What was it?
living room or whatever.
Hospital bed in the living room.
It didn't matter, but we took care of it.
Look,
and everybody in that household played a part in taking care
Yes,
of it.
sir. And look, you had to move the bed to the side if you had company so you could watch Soul Train because the bed was blocking the TV. But she was still there.
She was still there. But she got her everything she wanted, everything she needed, and she was loved and cared for.
And what all your friends call her?
Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Roll Big Mama for it.
Roll Big Mama in front of the TV. So, but look, everybody call. What you saying, sis?
It's a nursing home that they just had on news that didn't have hot water. Apparently they haven't had hot water for months, but a daughter just showed up and realized it after her mama was suffered one, and now it's all on the news. But she had her mama with her.
And look, and what we're talking about, see, this the problem though. We got one parent household. If she going to work and the mama stay there, she ain't in no condition to watch the children, you almost in a position you have to put them there. All we're saying is the responsibility don't leave. You need to make time in your day and go see about it. Walk in there with a scout. I smell piss in here.
Get them working.
I smell piss and watch them come running with buckets. If I smell piss tomorrow, and I ain't telling you, I'm telling you what my father did. Up there at St. Vincent, and I was up there with him. He said, if I come back up here again, then he gave a peppermint in her mouth, and he said, if I come back in here and smell piss again, y'all, when we went back in there, it smelled like intensive care and potpourri. But that made us go regularly to see her, regularly. All you doing is just getting in her mind that this where I live, these my friends right here. But this my family. Well, every time she see you come, here come my baby. Here come my baby. But you cannot throw them away and wait on their inheritance.
Because that's what some do.
See, we make vows, mama, you ain't got to worry about it. I'm going to take care of you. That vow's still on you. If you have to go to work, you're a truck driver, you can't be there. You put them there, but as soon as you get back into town, that's your first stop. Yeah, it's piss free up in here. That'll be. How you doing, baby? You want me to roll out? Let's go around the corner, get you some ice cream. I'm gonna bring you back. That responsibility is still there. You can't buy that away. Where we at? Well, they ain't got nothing but 28 minutes.
We just finished.
We finished that? Yeah. Let's get right to the heart of the matter, y'all. I want to get to the problem of this, and that's Genesis 3:16, 17. Y'all, we ain't going to go into detail. We're going to hit the script. I want to back that up with Sirach 22, 1 through 6. And y'all, we're going to show what we are arguing about rulership now. The Messiah wants us rulership when he first created us, where a man looked at his wife as his equal but has authority. That's why I went to that 1 Corinthians 15:28. All authority given to Messiah, but he still recognized his father. He said, I'm still subject to him. When they said good master, what did he tell them? There's none but who? So y'all, it ain't hard what we talking about. It's just hard to lock it in here because we want to do what we want to do. And then we want to try to deal with the consequences. Consequences are expensive. Real expensive.
They can cost you your life and salvation.
What the prodigal son do, Luke 15? How much faith did he spend? Father divvied it up, he was gone. They say he was making it typhoon.
He wasn't making it rain.
Boy, he was throwing his wealth up, boy. He was. And then lost everything. And guess where he was living at? In a pigsty. You go from royalty to a pigsty.
Yep. That's just like someone living.
But his father, not good job, but his father took him back in the home and did what? Killed the
Killed the
what?
fatted calf for him.
Because his mind was right.
But see,
I'm broke, but my mind right.
That's why a rich man, without having Christ within him, will never enter into the kingdom.
Yeah.
Because his mindset is on
this world.
Trusted in his riches.
Trusted in the things of this world.
Who's blessed him to have those riches.
That's right. What you got back there, Theo?
That parable was really studied kind of
breakdown was approximately really what happened between you and him. One of them went away, one of the brothers.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, bro.
10 tribes got scattered. Dude stayed. And when they tried to come back, it was kind of like.
But you know what? Judah heard. You know what Judah heard? What you was doing out there, man? Tell me some of them typhoon stories. What? And you throw the money up in the air, and what happens? Now, what about this popping wine skins? What? Y'all popping wine skins too and throwing shekels up in the air?
Judah became
And then Judah went worse than them.
treacherous.
But this prodigal son, see the situation, the only thing makes it different, that son was still with his daddy, non-stop.
Right.
Judah went off too. He did worse.
But the prodigal
Jeremiah
son
3.
never lost his foundation.
Yes, sir.
He just went off on a binge because he had it to do so. He had the liberty. But he never lost the fact that, man, I done lost my mind, man. I done got way off my course, man. I need to go back to the roots.
You living in a pigsty. You see what I'm saying, Elijah?
It's like a rich child who's born with a solid foundation become a crackhead.
Yeah.
And shame and ridicule drive them back home to get it together.
Right.
Because I done dishonored my father's name.
Yeah.
I dishonored my father's household. I got to go back and get it together.
I got to go back and get it together from there.
And then kind of like what the curse is supposed to do, so it takes you back to the covenant.
Who?
Curse.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's what it's supposed to do. Chase you back to righteousness. So you come back. If mercy is shown to you, you still got breath in your body. That's why a living dog is better than a what?
Dead lion.
A dead lion. Look, we got some dead kings. Like Jehoiakim, who burned the scrolls. He's a dead king. Somebody living in a pigsty right now is better than him. You know why? Because they can say, Lord, have mercy on me.
They believe in it.
Change from their wicked ways.
Like the thief on the cross. But that king that burned them scrolls,
He's in trouble.
he's got a burning coming.
Yeah.
And it ain't going to be in his loins only.
What about Manasseh, son of Hezekiah?
What do you do?
Wicked.
Oh, okay, same thing. Same thing you just said. You just said practice sin. Wicked.
Yeah.
Remember, John 8 said if a man died in his sin and he never had accepted Christ, he dies within his sin, whether he doing the law or not.
Right.
If you have not Christ, you die in your sin.
Yeah.
Whether you did the law to the letter,
Yeah.
613 of them. But not having Christ don't mean nothing.
Don't mean
It's all in
nothing.
vain.
That's all it was. Showboat
Be seen
to be seen of men. Where we at? We finished that. Give me Genesis 3:16, 17, y'all. We gonna roll now. Zeb, I hear you laughing out there about something.
I'm just tickled inside.
Oh, okay.
It's a joy to be here.
Okay. All right, bro. Let's get it, y'all. Genesis 3:16 and 17.
No, you ain't on me.
You.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 16.
And y'all, and this is the punishment, y'all, for the behavior of disobedience when they couldn't wait and they wanted to be grown up really quickly. See, they want to learn the way of the world or the way of Satan and his fallen angels before they practice what the Lord said. That's what the wolf always come and do. Oh, your mama ain't coming home till 8:30. How you know my mama's schedule?
You got time.
That's the first question should be asked. It's 6:39. He know what he working with. He been watching. Let's get it. What it say?
Verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
In sorrow, see, it's supposed to be joy, but now it's pain. And you cussing that man out because of the pain, because he don't have to feel any of this. Y'all understand what I'm saying? He don't have to feel the pressure and pain that he's doing. He outside pacing the floor, if that's what he's doing. Or he may be in the club and somebody may be telling him, you had a son, dog. What? Bartender, a beer for everybody, one beer. I got a son. Where we at, bro?
$5.
Verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband.
What shall your desire be?
To thy husband.
And when we look up desire, it means a strong craving. A sexual appetite. Towards who?
Your husband.
Go ahead, let's read some more.
And he shall rule over thee.
So now this is the problem where we get into trouble at, that brothers point this out to sisters. You see that, don't you? You see that staring you right in the face? Don't you? Act like you don't see that, woman. You see it? And then she point out the next verse. Let's read.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Right.
And hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee.
Who he hearkened to?
His wife.
See, this was a spiritual to let you know it was a head of household, so that don't nobody say they were created equal. He said, you listen. What would be wrong with him listening to her unless it was out of order?
It would.
Because they listened to each other. There had to be something that break the rank, that he's telling Adam, this why I'm putting this house shoe on your rear end.
She turned around and became the teacher.
Yeah.
And he became the student.
Right.
To foul doctrine.
Yes, sir. Let's get it.
And he said unto Adam, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it, cursed is the ground for thy sake.
Right.
In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
In sorrow, that means you got to work hard, go to the grocery store and be counting that money, and it's more month than money. You're eating in sorrow now. I know damn well you ain't ate that whole Happy Meal up by yourself, Junior. Earl and Timothy was supposed to get in on that one Happy Meal. Now you eating in sorrow because you don't have enough for your household. You're eating in sorrow. Break him a piece off. Proverbs 27:23 down to 27. Had one Negro talking about that, was talking about cattle. When do you call a maid cattle? Unless you into bestiality.
For real.
See, that's the only way, ain't it? That was talking about livestock. So enough milk for all thy maidens. Your maiden is livestock. Let's read some more. Where we at?
Verse 18. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee, and thou shalt eat the herb of the field.
Right.
In the sweat of thy face.
In the what?
Sweat of thy face.
What calls sweat, y'all?
Work.
Okay, go ahead.
Laborious work.
Go ahead.
In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it was thou taken. For dust thou art, and unto dust thou shalt return.
So you better listen to me, anime. You better leave that game alone. So this is what we got. All day, all day. But if you understand the scripture, is there any scripture in here that calls a woman sloth? It's only pointed to men. Give me some Sirach 22, 1 through that, and y'all, we're going to move to an event, y'all, while I got these 23 minutes and 46 seconds. Sirach 22, 1 through 6. Y'all, and this is what this doing is backing up Genesis 3:16 and 3:17, and you're going to see Sirach saying the same problem is going on, y'all, today. And it's the same problem that's going on today, y'all. And what we're talking about is, look, this nation has set us up where men can't get a job. You got a felony, it's going to be rough. But guess what the Most High did? He said, guess who keep laws and never break them? The elephants. Sprint, and when he said in Genesis 8th chapter, it said they will never break rank. Seasons will never break rank. So guess what you got out here now? How much money out there now with leaves out there? You get you $10 and 5 bags of them 5-pack leaves out there for $10 and get you a wagon, a red wagon, and put your rake on it and them bags, and your deal is I cannot dispose of them, but I'm cleaning that yard up for you, $3 a bag. 10 bags, how much that is? That's one house. Now, if you raking like this and with one hand pulling up your pants, and you raking like this, that's all it's gonna be is one bag. Cause these youngsters, I don't know how they be working with one hand, the other hand holding up their pants.
They trying to hold them up.
Yeah, I don't know. They just tighten their belt around their waist. Around their thighs and knees.
No, just flip the band over the belt. You know how we used to do.
Oh, stand like a penguin.
Yeah. Let's get it, y'all. 22.
Sirach chapter 22, verse 1. You on point, bro?
Yeah.
All right. Sirach chapter 22, verse 1. A slothful man.
Hey, who?
Slothful man.
Woman, I see.
Slothful man.
Little girl.
Slothful man is compared to a filthy stone, and everyone will hiss him out to his disgrace.
That's what it's like when they belittle you and the clapback starts. It's like you're a filthy stone. Y'all know what a filthy stone is? We used to wipe our behinds with stones. Wasn't no showing. A smooth stone. So if you mess around and grabbed a smooth stone, it was trouble.
Watch the there.
And look, if that smell get up in here, you can eat some lasagna, but what you smelled off your fingers cut right through that. Boy, let's read that next one. What it say, boy?
A slothful man is compared to the filth of a dung-hill.
Of a what?
Dung-hill. Every man that takes it up will shake his hand.
Will do what? Because ain't this what you do when you get something ain't supposed to be on it? You shake your hand.
Oh.
But you can't shake stank off. Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom.
Shalom, G baby. Big G baby.
Shalom. Shalom. Verse 3. An evil nurtured son is the dishonor of his father that begat him.
See, and when we look up an evil nurtured son, and this means his behavior, how he nurtured is evil. Ike Turner, y'all, that's an evil nurtured son. He believes that this is the way. I watched my daddy whoop the hell out of my mama. So what? See, that's an evil nurtured son. Shouldn't have laid down if you didn't want no baby. Look at your wife, baby. Where you getting these teachings from? Somebody teaching you this. Either you got this out of your house or the streets is your dad. And you're ill nurtured.
Streets is my dad.
Let's get some more. Did you say it's a song? Boy, you finna put that in the list. Oh, it's already a song. The streets is my daddy. Go ahead.
An evil nurtured son is the dishonor of his father that begat him. And a foolish daughter is born to his loss. A wise daughter shall bring an inheritance to her husband.
What is a wise daughter gonna do?
Bring an inheritance to her husband.
An inheritance to her husband, an offspring. Somebody he can leave righteousness to, not an ill-nurtured son. This is what she gonna do. She gonna make sure of it. Proverbs 31 start off. Solomon was called Lemuel. That was one of his many names. And his mama Bathsheba told him, never ever give your strength to a woman, son. How quickly he forgot when he got old.
Did just that.
And did just that. Go ahead, read some more.
But she that liveth dishonestly is her father's heaviness. She that is bold dishonoreth her. She that is bold dishonoreth both her father and her husband. But they both shall despise her.
But both shall despise her. Her father don't want to see his daughter handling her husband like that. Get your in there. She got him like this. And help my daddy fix on our car. And she got him like this and toss.
He like the ass for real.
I'm like, he paperweight.
They say the spark plug, is them under the front seat or what?
There ain't no woman in here.
Nah, he like, man, you going back in the house. You go back there with the dog.
Go somewhere else.
Go play with the dog.
Go ahead, bro. Where we at? Down to 8. Yeah.
A tale out of season is as music in mourning. The stripes and correction of wisdom are never out of time.
Never out of time. Go ahead.
Whoso teacheth a fool is as one that glueth a potsherd together. And as he that waketh one from a sound sleep. So it's like one that's got holes full of. He looked like he put together, but he's still full of holes.
Right, a potsherd. Look, like gluing a potsherd together. You got a what's in vase? Clay vase.
Yeah.
If that break, that's a potsherd. I don't care how much glue you put on it, it ain't gonna hold water.
No.
It can never hold water again. Ain't no need you gluing it back together. I don't care, ain't no Gorilla Glue gonna hold that.
Wasn't that a Brady Bunch episode where they tried to glue it back together and the water was spurting out of all parts of it?
I tell you, it's one of my partners' events too, when they was young and told to watch the house, and the little brother tripped over that lamp, that one lamp from that high Edomite right there on Finney and Grain, and broke that lamp she had in the layaway for 10 seasons. And he tried to put it back together with some of his father's wallpaper paste. He said it just kept crumbling in his hand. And as soon as she walked through the door, she just sat down. I ain't gonna never have nothing. And there she go with that strap. Line up. Line up. So we can hold there. Just wanted to hit that and let y'all know these why it's still compared. You see what the sins are. Your problems to your husband and your father. So that you won't accept headship or rulership. So it's not only disrespect to your husband, but it's disrespectful to your father. Because he's thinking, he let you out of the house like that. He had control. He let you out like this. This something he ain't disavowed. He let you out like this. And then a slothfulness is Genesis 3:16. A slothful man like a filthy stone. That's why you're talked to like you ain't dung when they clap the back. And then don't let them start reaching at the earth. What is they reaching for?
They reaching for thoughts. Some thoughts.
Some
Trying to
thoughts.
grab
Oh,
some
okay.
thoughts. Grasping for thoughts.
1 Kings 21, y'all. Just gonna get this, y'all. We're gonna hit a couple more, y'all. We're gonna be out of here because my timing is looking good. And then I may have to give y'all a couple for some homework to back this up.
First
Kings 21, and y'all, we're gonna see a situation of where if a man has long hair, is it comely? Because we just asked, did nature teach you if a man have long hair is comely? So the realm of animals don't get out of sync. It don't get out of sync. The lioness go kill just like a woman go to the grocery store and get the groceries. And he sit back and wait, but he's watching the house. Let somebody else come at the house. What he gonna do? He roar. Get your ass away from me. Get your ass away from me. That's what he roars. So she's protected. Then he eats. But he's protecting. And when they walking behind him, they got to get through him to get through them. That's the lion. Go ahead, bro.
Even if it's the king of that pride, the other male lions fall in suit behind the head of the pride.
Yes, sir.
And they get busy with him. They handle their business as protectors of the pride. Just like a man's supposed to protect his household against anything coming in. That's what Adam was supposed to do in the garden. Protect that tabernacle from the knowledge, the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yes, sir.
He was supposed to protect it. That's when when he failed, the Levitical priest was supposed to do the same thing. Protect it and keep any strangers from entering into the tabernacle.
That's right.
They couldn't do it. So there had to be an ultimate high priest that wouldn't allow nothing coming in. There's no way to the kingdom
without Christ.
Yes, sir. And he protects it by all means.
So y'all, we see that now, because the lion have long hair and the female lion don't have any. So what about that is nature? That would be contrary to what we read, wouldn't it? Yeah. But the deal is the female lion don't run the household, don't take over the household of the male lion. He's called the king of the what? Jungle. It ain't for no reason. It ain't the queen of the jungle. So nature is telling you it ain't got nothing to do with physical hair. This is talking about spiritual covering. If this nature don't allow this to happen, why is human beings that's in charge of nature can't get in control?
Out of control.
That's the problem.
And the lion ain't even the biggest animal in the jungle.
No.
Not by a long shot.
Let's get it. Where we at?
First Kings chapter 21,
and 1.
verse 1.
What it say?
And it came to pass.
Hold on, y'all there yet?
Yeah, you ain't.
Well, you saw that. Expert stalling techniques, boy. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, after these things, that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the place of Ahab,
All about the palace.
hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria.
So this brother had some inheritance, some land, the palace, Ahab, king of Israel, right there. But you know how people build a Walmart and don't nobody want to sell out? No, I'm holding on to this. This is my father's inheritance. I don't care
Which Naboth